Hey everybody, it's Cory Melanie here, Notes to Self, and we are just getting started with our live. We're gonna give a few people a couple minutes to get on.
Negan.
So, I believe we are live now. There was a couple of ads that came out on TLC, and we're trying to get used to this live thing so we can do weekly lives after the shows. And so we decided to just start doing a couple of lives so we can get familiar with the process of it, because we're not that familiar. This is our second live we've ever done. And so we want to try to get familiar with it. Oh, thank you, Jamie. We're still getting familiar with the gifts. We appreciate that. Thank you. You what?
Well, we're super fancy. We've got a huge setup now. Last time, I guess you were holding.
Yeah, I feel like we're like kinking our necks to look up, which is fine. But yeah, so we wanted to kind of talk. I'm gonna actually just drop this just a little bit. See if I can. Oh, sorry. Come on. See if I can drop it just a little bit because my neck's getting a little kinked looking up at it. Sorry. You can tell we're brand new at this, huh? We're going to get it, I promise. There we go. Thank you, love. Okay. So we wanted to go over, there's the new TLC drop that we wanted to talk a little bit about today. And then also Christine suing Kody for child support. I mean, how incredible is that? That's amazing. I'm so happy for her that she's decided to do that. What?
No, just a quick disclaimer, I guess. I've been out of the Polygamous group for over 30 years now. So most of my observations, honestly, are on what I observed when I was a kid in the AUB. I'm not a polygamist. I grew up in the polygamous community and found out really quickly that I didn't want to be a polygamous man. So
yeah, for those of you that don't know, we'll kind of introduce ourselves again. I'm Melanie. I was born and raised in the AUB. My dad is the current prophet of the AUB, and I was married in the polygamous community at one point and divorced before I married Cory. And then Cory was born and raised in the AUB as well, and left
I was the first son of the second wife of my dad's, and I grew up in the compound up in Montana, had lots of brothers and sisters, but I saw the conflict of polygamous women and a polygamous marriage from a child's point of view. And so I chose very, very early that I did not want to have multiple wives. I wanted to know all of my kids, and a lot of my parenting since I've become a parent was based on some of the things that my parents did, those things
Hey,
that
Bob's
I wanted.
wife. I got to be me now.
Yeah.
Keep going, sorry.
No, and then what I didn't want to happen, I wanted to know each and every one of my kids, know them by name, love on them. So
Yeah.
a lot of my perspective is from a kid's point of view, looking at polygamous
Right.
women and the polygamous wives and my dad, and seeing similarities within
Right.
Kody's and the sister wives
Right.
thing. So
And I had 3 kids when we got married, and we have 2 kids together. So I married 2 polygamous boys from Montana compound. So Cory was raised in Montana, right down the street from Robin, and his best friend was Robin's older brother. Older brother, right?
yeah.
He's older than her? Okay. Yeah, so we just kind of want to share our point of view on some of our experiences that we've had in the AUB, and answer some questions if we have people who have questions for us. And that new trailer that just dropped with Kody and Mary was like, boom, blew my mind today. And so I wanted to do another live before our live next week after episode 2. And so we're just kind of learning how to do all this and going through the process of it. So if you guys have any questions along the way, please let us know, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. I don't know that there's really too personal of questions that I wouldn't be willing to answer. So feel free to ask whatever questions you want to, and I'm happy to answer whatever we can. So on that new TLC drop, well, let's go with Christine first, because that one came out first. So Christine looks like she's suing Kody for child support. Thank God she's doing that, to be totally honest, because too many of these women just walk away and they don't want to deal with the law. They don't want to deal with the aftermath of it. They don't want to, it's hard, it's expensive. Most of them are very uneducated and don't make a lot of money. And so we're not able to, when I got divorced, I fortunately found an attorney that was super helpful to my situation, because I didn't graduate high school and I had 3 small babies without graduating high school, and I'd been a stay-home mom for almost 10 years. I had 0 way to pay an attorney. So that was a really tricky situation for me to try to leave with 3 little kids and try to get any sort of legal or, financial support. Fortunately, like I said, I had that really good attorney who stepped in and helped me along the way. And then, and it was really nice because I had so many polygamous women come up to me afterwards. How did you do that? How did you do that? He still walked away with 67% of our marital assets. I got what was left over that he didn't try to sell off or give to other polygamous men. So that's one of the things that in a polygamous situation is the men tend to hide their income a lot so that the women can't have anything. This is a lot harder for Kody to do that because he's on national television and selling a $1.6 million house right now. So that's really hard for him to be able to hide all of that kind of stuff. But my ex-husband became the number 2 back owed child support person in the state of Utah because he refused to pay, because his ego was so ginormous and he was so angry that I had left. What?
And this is more of a, to be honest, we grew up within the AUB and saw all of the stuff that kind of went on. I'm sure it's the same way in other polygamous or other communities, but basically, hopefully this is good information to awaken some of those polygamous wives who have married. You can still
our kids on there
get on title, and there should be, I feel like Kody and those guys and the sister wives actually wanted to wake up a lot of America.
They might be doing it differently than they thought, though,
yeah,
which is awesome.
That they should be able to, there should be protections in there for all the wives, all of the children, and
right.
A lot of times there's a legal wife that is married, and so if there's a divorce going on, yeah, you're actually, when they hire a lawyer, they're going not only after the husband, but sometimes a legal wife.
Right,
so.
Right. And there's some lawsuits coming out in Utah right now that are going to be amazing to see. But Got to Be Me Now asked a question that kind of skipped through, and I want to make sure I get back to that. Do you think that them listing the house is what caused Christine to file right now? Honestly, I feel like there's a couple of different factors. Truly's 14 now, and she can decide who she wants to live with. And before we get too deep into this, let's just put this disclaimer out there. This is our opinion only. Mm-hmm. We know no actual facts about stuff. This is just our experience. We're not trying to, entertainment purposes only. We're not trying to say that we know anything factual here.
Yeah, we're viewing this and then through a lens
right.
of what we saw growing up.
Yeah. So in my opinion, it's very strategic that she would put that out there when Truly turned 14 and can make the decision of who she wants to live with, who she wants to be, go with full time. That's very strategic. When I got divorced, my kids were very small. My oldest was 7 when I left, and my youngest was 1. And so there was a lot of years to file for child support, and because I was single, or because I was uneducated and didn't have a high school degree even, I needed that child support to try to compensate something, to be able to not lose my house. So so somebody says, I missed what Christine did. So she filed for background child support for Truly, and she filed it, and someone said, I love that she put her new name on there. I do too. Like, that's so powerful for her to be able to put herself out there as a legal wife. That's awesome for her. What an amazing experience. And so so also they listed their little McMansion, and so yeah, the judge is going to take all of those things into consideration, because it's all public. That's hard to hide. When I got divorced, my ex-husband literally just gave away tens of thousands of dollars to make sure that I couldn't have it. He gave it to other polygamists. Other polygamous men stepped in to help them hide money so that I could not get any of the money for my kids. And he did make a good amount of money at that time. We owned our own business, so there was a lot of opportunity there for these men. I considered them vultures at the time, where they all jumped in and kind of took over and give me a piece of this, give me a piece of that. I mean, I'm talking $100,000 was gone like that, because it was set out between all the polygamous men and different communities, because that's better than giving it to a wayward wife. So,
well, it stays within the
AUB.
righteous AUB. So.
Yep, it stays within the AUB, and I was leaving the AUB, and so therefore they didn't want me to take the money outside of the community. Let's see, listing, also, we do have a moderator, so she can throw in questions anytime you think there's a question we should ask. I feel like some of the questions are going by a little bit quicker. So I'm really super excited for Christine, don't you think? Like, so we got married very shortly after I got legally divorced. So I was never legally married. I was only spiritually married, like the rest of the wives were. So I didn't have the same legal last name. I didn't have, my kids had his legal last name. I didn't file for birth certificates for my children until not quite a year before I got divorced. Then I filed birth certificates. Up until then, we didn't even have birth certificates for them, because you just didn't want the government involved in your business, and you didn't want them to know who your kids were. And so about a year before I got divorced, we finally filed birth certificates. So my baby was the first birth certificate I filed at birth. My third child was. And so I did get a legal divorce, because at that point we had created kind of an estate, if you will. And so because we had an estate, we had a couple of homes, we had our own business, I filed for a legal divorce so that I could get some of those. Yeah, thanks, Diane.
When talking about like spiritual divorces, is it easier to go in alone and ask for it, or is it easier to have your sister wives backing you up when you go into the council?
Yeah, it's funny, because I feel like these men make these rules up as they go along. It really just depends. I posted a video last night about getting divorced, and I still stand by so much of that, because it really depends on who you are. It depends on your last name. It depends on your status in the church, whether you're actually taken seriously or heard or not. I didn't have a sister wife at that time, and I just went to Owen Allred was the prophet at the time, and I just went to Owen and just said, hey, I need a divorce. He's out there, hiring prostitutes and all sorts of stuff, which is why I got divorced. And so he says hearsay. I know for a fact that that's what was happening, which is why we ended up getting divorced. And so I wouldn't let him have a second wife, so he had other activities. And so, yeah, a lot of women will go in with their sister wives, but once you've declared that you're going to leave, you almost become public enemy number one. So the other sister wives aren't really going to support you in that decision. They're not going to support you in trying to go get a release once you've made that decision. I personally didn't feel like I needed a release. I went in and asked for one at the beginning, and then they declined because my ex-husband was in the prophet's back pocket at that time. And so they didn't want to give me one because they wanted me to stay married to him. It took me 18 months to finally get a release. And so at that point, it was super hard, and I just didn't even care. And so I just was walking away. The only reason I went in and demanded, it took me calling the prophet and demanding, I want this release and I want it today, because we had started dating and he didn't want to continue dating me if I didn't have that release, because he knew how important that was to my father.
Well,
so
it's all based on belief system. I felt like if it was something that I felt like I didn't ever make these commitments with.
He didn't go through the temple like I did.
I didn't, and so if it was important to her to end those commitments, then yes, if it was a belief system that, because I didn't make those commitments, so if it was a commitment that she was worried about wanting to end, I was more worried about. I was more worried about the legal divorce.
Yeah, so. I was too. Just for financial reasons. Not financial reasons, I'm sorry. The only thing I fought for in the legal divorce was full custody of the kids. I didn't fight for anything financially. I just fought for full custody of the kids because I didn't want my kids to be raised in polygamy. And so that was the only thing that I was determined was going to happen, was me have full legal custody of my children. And so
to go based off of Callie's question about registering new babies, I mean, I could be wrong about this, but don't a lot of polygamous children don't have birth certificates? Yeah,
a lot of polygamous children. A lot of polygamous children don't have birth certificates for that reason. I don't know if my parents filed mine later in life. Did your mom? Because your mom didn't file, right, for a long time.
No, we did. Me and the brother right under me had birth certificates.
Oh, because you were the first two children.
Because we were the first two, but then when my parents moved up to Pinesdale, they didn't file birth certificates. A lot of those were home births. And so they didn't have, they would document them in their genealogy and stuff like that, but they didn't necessarily need birth certificates. And so me and the brother right underneath me have been in this legal system since we were born. So it was easy for us to get passports, things like that. My other siblings have had more of a difficult time because they didn't get birth certificates till later on in life.
And
when
then
they
with Jamie asking about issues with school, the polygamous school.
Oh, so a lot of kids just went to the polygamous private school.
That's right.
So he went to the polygamous private school or homeschooled. And so you see that on the Browns when they very first, like in the first couple of seasons, their kids were all in the private school. So that didn't really matter to people because you were in a private school. You were issued kind of like a not birth certificate. You're issued like a GED when you're finished. But a lot of them just didn't have birth certificates, and it didn't matter for that reason.
Yeah, I graduated. I got a certificate from whatever the school was, and then I took that certificate down to the Hamilton courthouse and
in Montana
took a GED course and got my GE general education certificate showing that I could now work and I started working at a young age because I had.
Oh, what is that? Oh, thank you so much. I don't know what that means, but thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie.
A donut. It's just another gift.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, Jamie. We're still learning the gift things. We apologize if we missed something, but we're definitely still learning that. So he just saying he had to work at a young age. We all had to work we all started working. I started working out, at 12. It was just part of what we had to do in order. Oh, I don't know what that is. That's hilarious. Thank you. Okay, so talk about big egos. We've talked about Kody's ego. Oh my gosh, you guys are so nice to my husband. Except for that his ego is getting way too big because
Metallica, Negan. Yes, I love that.
What's his name in real life? I can't remember somebody's like, are you getting this vibe from this guy? And I had to look this actor up. Yeah, his head's so big it's falling over. I had to look this actor up, and it's Negan off of Walking Dead, which we loved that series. William. Thank you, William. And he's been walking around memorizing lines from Walking Dead.
Yeah, my favorite. You need to get a leather coat. I'm like,
oh wow.
I need a leather coat too. So
he's like, I'm gonna wear a leather coat in this live. I'm like, yeah, no, you're not. So because his head is like blowing up now because people are being, oh yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you,
Which
Barry.
I personally think he is so sexy, but of course I think my husband's sexy too. So he definitely looks a lot like him. So yeah, now, I mean, yeah, he loves that. Anything that, oh, appreciate all those likes and stuff. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. 10,000 likes. You guys are amazing. Please keep tapping. I'm not sure what all these things mean, but we are going to learn them, I promise, because we're going to do lives at least once, if not twice a week, because it just makes it, we actually enjoy it. We enjoy the banter back and forth, and we enjoy talking about our life and our experiences, and people are curious. Oh.
And I have family that are still a part of
The AUB.
AUB, so I try to be respectful, but I'm not.
It's hard when it's so...
There are certain things that I can, I guess, be less respectful about. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm seeing some comments in there too. So
Yeah.
saw something about the priesthood.
Yeah, and
So
I try... Oh gosh,
I
yeah.
don't have the priesthood, so
Somebody also made a comment. So, like, last time he says respect your priesthood authority.
yeah, that was.
It's a joke that we do all the time because it is kind of like a little, because you're told that a lot as a woman in the AUB. Respect your
And as
priesthood authority.
children
Yeah.
growing
And when
up.
you go through the temple, you make a promise and a covenant to respect your priesthood authority. And so it gets a little bit tricky when somebody steps out of line and they're not respecting their priesthood authority. So he will say that very sarcastically and joking to me
because
all the time.
I have never.
Oh, hi,
respected-
Punk Rock Polygamous. Thanks for joining us. We love it.
Yeah, I've never respected my priesthood authority, and I've gotten in trouble my whole life because of it.
Yeah. So we do still want to be respectful of the family that we love that are still in the AUB. Like,
And their beliefs.
Yeah,
So
and
if
their
they want to
beliefs.
respect that.
But we
that's
definitely
also
want to tell our experiences, and, you know, sometimes
punk rock.
some things come out that get a little spicy for both of us. So we have, okay, so that's kind of my take on Christine and filing for child support. Absolutely.
needs to.
She
She needs to
absolutely needs
protect
to.
herself.
These men need to be held accountable for
Yeah.
the messes that they've created. And like I said in my post that I did last night, these men jump into these relationships, and it's so fun to create all these responsibilities while you're in the creation process of it. But then the actual taking care of those responsibilities maybe not be quite so fun. And so you know, they need to be held accountable. Too many times these women just walk away because they don't want to get the government involved. They don't want to get the law involved, and they just walk away.
Yeah, it's
And
easier.
Because the government is scary.
yeah, because the
Yeah,
government is
because
scary, and you don't know if you're going to lose your kids because of what you're doing.
And the AUB like made it seem like the government
Yeah.
is after.
And the AUB always told us, I mean, and rightfully so. So Rulon Allred was Christine's grandfather. He actually delivered Cory when he was born. He delivered me when I was born. He was the local doctor here. And he went to prison for a while for polygamy. And so it really is pounded into us that it is scary and that the government is out to get you. I saw that sarcastic look.
Rulon was the first one to see the top of this beautiful head.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, you guys have made my husband's day by being so sweet to him. Thank you guys so much. So now so the TLC video that came out about Kody and Mary getting a release. Can this man, what in the hell, can this guy like say the dumbest things on national television? What the hell? And so, yeah, that blows my mind, some of the stuff that he said. Because yes, Mary did go to the priesthood for a release, and the way that Kody doesn't want to acknowledge the priesthood authority, and yet, so what killed me is the very first part of it. In our church, he says, you get what's called a release, not a divorce. And so he says that, so he claims ownership of being part of the AUB, and then a couple sentences later says, I didn't want to acknowledge them as leadership, so I didn't want to get a divorce.
They're BS.
Yeah, they're BS. I didn't want to acknowledge
Which,
their BS. Yet, two sentences before.
I'll leave this to her because under their covenant,
Oh,
they're
hi,
not
William.
supposed to disrespect their
Yeah.
priesthood leaders, and calling the priesthood leaders their BS.
You literally make a covenant and a promise not to disrespect the priesthood authority. So I have made fun of this a couple of times. Obviously, William Cook Barlow says, I knew a couple of Allreds in the Allred from the group I was from. Yeah, I actually know a lot of Barlows. Really good friends of mine, actually. Several of them. And Callie says, is it more sacred to have the leader at the delivery? I would have thought he would have been female only. He was just, oh, what is this?
He was
Diane,
a doctor.
thank you. Yeah, he was a doctor.
Yeah.
He was just the local doctor, so he just happened to be the leader too. And so I personally didn't have a male doctor. I had female doctors, which I preferred, but he just happened to be the local doctor. And where everything was kept so secret and quiet, you had somebody that was secret and quiet there too. I'm gonna actually go back to one of those questions. I wondered about that comment. He's so much about having the priesthood leader at the delivery. No, honestly, it's just really, it's really just a secrecy thing more than anything else. He just happened to be male and happened to be a doctor. So that's why he was there. And then of course they kept the records, secret from the government. So that's really the biggest reason he was there.
Mine weren't.
Well, if you wanted them to be kept secret, then they would keep them secret.
But he signed both mine and my little brother's birth certificates. So
Yeah, and he
had
will
birth
because he was,
certificates right
yeah. So, do you still talk to Christine and Mary? I haven't talked to Christine in a really long time, but if I saw her in public or saw her at an event, I absolutely would. Mary and my brother passed not too long ago. She reached out very sweetly. Her brother passed. I reached out. We do, and we would absolutely connect if we saw each other. Kody and Mary were in my wedding, my very first wedding when I first got married. So yeah, I mean, we are still, I would absolutely talk to them. Says, no, Kody, he tried to make it sound like he's always thought the religion was crazy, which is yeah, that's funny to me. Cause no, that's not how he very much was a follower of the religion for a very long time in my experience of him.
But within the religion, there has been kind of a shake-up
Right.
over the course of the religion. The last interaction I had with the religion, Owen was still the prophet, and they've gone through many since then. So
I think 3 since Owen.
So I guess they could have.
My grandma married Owen, so he was kind of like a grandfather to me. Wait,
Was your dad's favorite wife?
Yeah,
similar
so
to Robin.
So D says, do babies get birth certificates? It depends. If you're the parent and you want a birth certificate, yes, you can. If not, then no. And then thank you guys for the questions so much. Keep them up. We're so happy to answer all of these questions. And then also somebody says, was your dad's favorite, our moderator has to leave, so we're going to try to answer some of these. Was your dad's favorite wife similar to Robin? Worse. In my opinion, he had a couple of them too. I think every family gets these wives that just come in and I don't know, they're just dictators, straight up assholes. So
Once they get a status, or
thank you.
once they get a status of the favorite wife, or and I wouldn't even call it favorite wives. There are some wives that have set rules that
Yeah.
even the husband, where other wives are more obedient. And so,
And it's true, unfortunately. Like my mom was extremely obedient. His mom was extremely obedient. And then you get those like sass master wives who come in and think that they're owed everything. I had no idea that birth certificates aren't required. I mean, societally, yes, they are. If you want to participate in society, then yeah, you do need one for a social security number. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been so amazing for all these questions. How does the AUB differ from the Warren Jeff Society? So they used to be one society. Everyone was in the same group, and then it split, and it literally split families in half. And half of them went one way, half of them went the other way. And then the Warren Jeffs became very dictator. What's the word I'm looking for, babe?
authoritarian.
Yeah, authoritarian, where
just
the AUB.
follow the living prophet. I don't
Yeah,
feel
the
like,
AUB is a lot more relaxed in that kind of stuff.
has been.
From a husband's perspective, how was the transition from multiple to one? Well, let's see how he answers this.
Well, my mother was a second wife, and she definitely was the favorite wife for a time.
I need an obedient wife. Thanks, text.
She was obedient. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
But then there came a certain point that she was less, I don't know.
I thought you were going to go a whole
workable.
nother direction with that.
And there was other wives that took, and that I felt like that they shifted all the way through. But there was definitely a wife that my dad was
Favored.
in love with.
Every family
It's
has
the
one.
in love with.
I thought you were going to go with what? My wife's multiple personalities. How is it to go from multiple personalities down to one?
There is one of my favorite personalities.
And then it says, is Kody controlling in real life? He was when I knew him. I haven't had any interaction with Kody in years, but yes, when I knew him, he was. And you've met Kody, because didn't Kody and Mary have their honeymoon at your house?
No, I don't. I remember meeting Kody when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
He was, I think, a year older than me, and it was just. I met a lot of the guys. We hung around with a lot of guys, but yeah, to be honest, I've probably seen him 3 or 4 times in my life.
Cory needs an obedient wife too. And so, okay, this is so fascinating. Thank you for sharing your experiences. Thank you, Leanne. We really appreciate it.
I wanted to go back up. What was that one you were showing me?
From husband's perspective, is that one? How was the transition from multiple to one? That's where I thought you were going to make fun of my multiple personalities. He never had multiple wives. Neither one of us have actually lived polygamy. I was married in the polygamous community, and my ex-husband and I courted a couple different girls, and we got pretty close to actually wanting to marry one, and then I put a no on it and said no because I'm a bummer like that.
Yeah, I was asked very politely to leave the AUB at a young age, so.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to kind of go into that a little bit on one of our other lives about the Lost Boys that get kicked out. That would be one of Cory's. Cory got kicked out.
Yeah, but I was an adult and disrespectful to my priesthood authority at the time, so.
Punk Rock Loomis says, I met your dad once. You've only met him once? I thought you met him like a lot of times.
He's probably talking to me.
Oh, he's probably talking to you. Sorry. I think everything's about me. He thinks everything's about him.
My Faja.
So yeah, his dad was one of the founding members of Pinedale up there in Montana.
Well, don't say that. There's a lot of founding members that would be pissed to hear that. He was asked to go up there
by Rulin to help start the community up there. Okay, Lily Lotus. I'm sorry. I only watched it a couple times. I could not understand how he gained so many wives. It's because if you watch the first couple of episodes, oh my God, it's like, it literally drives me crazy. There are certain families that have certain status, and Kody came in and he was fresh blood. And so he wasn't, there is a lot of intermarrying. And so when you're converted and you come in, a lot of people want to marry that because it's fresh. It's not, you're not in the same gene pool and your family tree branches. There you go. There's my sarcasm about that. Doesn't Kody have a responsibility to take care of all if they don't know how they can reach heaven's? If they don't know how can he reach heaven's top level? Right. In the polygamous group, we're taught you cannot reach the celestial kingdom if you don't have a minimum of 3 wives.
In harmony.
In harmony with you, supposedly. Let's see. Kody defines relationships based on loyalty, respect, and common. Is that common in the AUB? Oh my God, if I hear that man say they're unloyal to me one more time, I swear that is one of the things I want to scream at on the TV when I watch that. What a crock of shit that is.
She gets frustrated because there's a bit of hypocrisy that there's got to be loyalty from the woman to the man, but the man can be with many women and he's still loyal.
Such a load of shit. There you go. Yeah, I think his whole commentary on loyalty, why don't you try to give loyalty and you might get a little bit of loyalty back, but when you're not loyal to even your children, then how do you expect loyalty back? How do you expect respect back when you can't even respect your family? And yes, that is very common. I'm sorry, I forgot that second part of that question. It is very common. These men are complete ridiculous jokes sometimes. So very hypocritical. Sorry, we're trying to keep up with that. Oh, Cory's dad, he says, yeah. Mel, please don't be obedient, wife. Keep up my brother. Keep my brother humble. Oh, I'm so curious who this is. Oh, it's Katie. Hi, sweetheart. I didn't even see you on there. Okay, how have you all watched Big Love by Nisha Sager? Asked this question. Oh my gosh, we loved that show. And we sat and guessed each storyline. We all sat and guessed who they were talking about because they took real life scenarios and put them into.
Yeah. And so if you watch Big Love, she was the families in the little houses that knew each other. If you watch Big Love, I was the guy down in the compound.
In the compound, yeah.
I was this guy.
No, do not do that. I hate it when he does that.
There was this guy with the long sleeve shirts down in the compound.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up.
Okay, funny story. I don't know if I should publicly tell this story, but I'm going to tell it because it's that funny. So my dad watched Big Love with a news reporter in their living room. The local news channel came and Big Love premiere was coming on, and my dad was in the room with a bunch of his wives.
Hey,
and that first sex scene came on, and my dad instantly turned it off and was like, yeah, we're not watching that. And so all the wives got mortified because that was kind of a spicy show. It was hilarious. And so all the wives got super upset, and
they don't have sex like that in
no, they don't have sex like that. At least
I don't know.
We don't know.
Disclaimer. She's the only one that's done that.
No, you have sex with your garments on. You have intimacy. You don't even call it sex. That's raunchy, but you would call it intimacy. Let's see. Does it help your marriage that you were both raised in that way? I think so, to some degree, because he understands where I'm coming from, and I understand where he's coming from.
And we can discuss.
And we can have a sense of humor about it.
Yeah, discuss dogmas or belief systems that we were raised with that we no longer carry.
Yeah.
I don't believe a lot of the stuff that I was brainwashed, a lot of it as a kid, believing it, and then throughout my adult life I've had to unlearn and hold on to some of those things that I was taught about love and family and kids. And I feel like that a lot of my parenting is looking at from a child's eyes, what did I appreciate that my parents did for me, talking to me,
right.
Stuff like that. And then there was a lot of things that I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to have that be a part of my parenting at all.
Yeah, I think it's really helped, I think, more in our parenting than it has in our marriage. I mean, it's definitely helped our marriage, but more in our parenting too.
Yeah.
Because we learned all the things not to do.
What not to do.
Yeah. And so, yes, we love Big Love. It's one of our favorite shows. It's so hilarious. Okay, let's start. I'm going to try to keep... We had a moderator, and I apologize, she had to leave. So now that your mom is out, has she considered dating again? No, my mom's 70. She doesn't really have any interest in getting out there.
Yeah, my dad passed away, and
yeah.
My mom has zero interest in not that she could. Hopefully she marries somebody outside the AUB who's super rich. I would love that. Hey, Mom.
I always tell my mom, you need to start going on dates and get yourself a hot young man that can take yourself out of the country and go on some fun stuff. But you guys are funny. I'm rolling. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Callie. We do have to, when you grow up in such an extreme cult, you have to have a sense of humor about it, or it's just not.
What was that last question? Is Robin really clueless?
Is Robin really clueless? Oh, we'll get back. Sorry, I'm trying to go back. Every time I answer a question, it like scrolls up. Yeah, I don't think Robin's really, it's called willful ignorance. Somebody said that on one of my lives, and it was hilarious because it's so true. they come in there and they act like they don't know what they're doing, and they know exactly what they're doing. It's a very common personality trait in the polygamous group for the women to go, I don't understand. And yet in the background, she's manipulating the crap out of the husband.
Hi, my little sister.
Oh yeah, Cory's little sister's on here. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, the days you must do a big love rewatch and tell us who is who. Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
That would be awesome.
We lived
should
for that
rewatch
show.
one.
Yeah,
That was a good show.
we had a good time. We would make so much fun of people during that show. And what's funny is my dad would not watch that show at all with the reporters.
the
Like
lead
they
singer
shut
in
that.
Metallica?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, that's what I'm gonna hear for the next 2 days. Dude, you're married to a rock star. So, but my dad would come to our house because it was a guilty pleasure for him to watch Big Love. And so he would come to my house on Sunday nights, because I believe it didn't come on Sunday nights. So he would go to church, be the leader of the church, and then he would come to our house afterwards and watch the show, and we would talk about who's who and what's what. Okay, no, you're good. So is Robin really clueless? What were you gonna say?
Well, that's a lot of questions on Robin. And see, again,
We don't know Robin
I was
personally
a
anymore.
little kid. I was a
Yeah.
little kid, but
Well, you would have been 18 when she moved away, right? Because if
Well,
she was 12 or
probably
13 when she
17.
moved away from Pinesdale, then
I
you would.
probably would have been 17 or 18
Yeah.
at the time. So, but they lived down next door to my friend's house, and I knew her biological dad. I knew their family, and then when her mom got a release and
Married her stepdad.
her stepdad, and then
So Robin's bio dad was best friends with Cory's dad for a long time, for a lot of years. And so that, I know, not anymore, but there was a point where they were best friends.
well, I think
And they
they're
did a lot of
both dead.
proselyting together to get people into the AUB. So Robin's bio dad and Cory's dad would do a lot of proselyting to get people to come into the AUB. Are Robin's tears deep-rooted or Kody cause? I don't know, because if you can cry on demand, is there a reason for that?
Has anybody on here seen a tear?
I know. I've heard that she doesn't really have tears. They're just like on
Tear
demand
ducts.
things. I don't know. Gotta be nice. Crazy question, but do polygamous men share intimacy with more than one wife at once? Not in the group that we were in. No, that would have been very frowned upon. That would be the Mormon church. That would be the other show called The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, if you guys want to go check that out. But swinging is extremely prevalent here in Utah. A lot of people are swingers here in Utah. Not that I know from any experience, because I have zero experience in that.
I don't even want to imagine that, because the only experience I have is with my dad and the wives, and I would not want to imagine any of my other
that would
mothers
feel
and
yucky
dad
to me.
doing that,
Wouldn't
so.
that feel yucky to you? Like,
I
ugh.
don't.
Especially because they all wear garments and you're supposed to wear those when you're intimate. So I just,
Yeah.
all you'd see is a bunch of white stuff everywhere.
I don't think any, from my experience, I don't think any of the polygamous wives ever got along with each other.
Enough to have
Enough to
a
do
swing.
that.
They all hated each other with a smile on their
Exactly.
face. And so can't imagine them being intimate with each other in any way. Let's see. No real tears. Someone says that would be my, yeah. I think it's a cry on demand. They are famous in the eyes of their siblings. Oh, Jesus. We have a couple of family members on here. So, what was your faith? Katie Kate says, what was your faith like now, LDS? We actually don't practice any sort of religion right now. We have just raised our kids to be good kids. We have let them make their own decisions, let them make their own. We have been...
So I'm going to just be honest. When I left the AUB, yes, I went to the LDS.
Yeah, we both
church,
left. That's very common. And
it-
joined the LDS church right after.
There was such a commonality. Everything was exactly the same, and
Right.
everything that I disagreed with the
Yeah.
LDS church about too. So I am not a part of the LDS church either.
Yeah.
I have lovely friends and family most of my mom's family in there. I love them all to death and support but I just had no desire. It was too similar from the community I left to the community.
We jumped from one cult to another.
Yeah.
And we decided we didn't want to raise our children in cults. Okay, it says we'd be okay just hearing gossip about Robin. I've heard that a lot. Okay, Mark Hall says, how many wives do you have? He's got just one, which he claims has multiple personalities. Yeah. So how many would you say you have? Or I have? Yeah, stutter over that answer, buddy.
I'm not even going to answer that one.
Okay, Diane Johnson, have you watched Kody on the podcast discussing his views on the theology on Joseph Smith? I haven't, actually. I haven't. I don't really watch a lot of stuff. I don't hold a lot of credence into a lot of stuff that Kody says. Abuser says, I've seen him before. Are you too famous? No. Famous to our siblings, yes. Thank you. But no, we're not. Yes. We're not in any way. We are small town, we are just getting started telling our stories. I decided to come forward and tell my story because, my dad became the prophet and a lot of my family felt like they needed to get their stories out there. And so I decided to start a podcast so that we could tell our stories accurately. So we had a couple of different creators come in and try to be very abusive to our stories and tell straight out lies. And so I just decided to go ahead and start a podcast so that the stories could be told accurately.
And answer the questions directly instead of...
Emily said, fantastically average. He's not an active member, but he could go back anytime. So Cory was actually kicked out of the AUB, and when he married me and my status in the AUB, then he was invited back, and he said thanks, but no thanks. It was like a knife to the kidneys, says Kate. Do you think Mary realizes how manipulative Robin is? I think Mary likes to see the best in people. She wants to believe people have the best intentions. And so she wants to believe that in Robin. I would hope that she would see it. And plus she has to be careful about what she says on national television. So she is trying her best to be as politically correct as possible. But I am all here for this Spicy Mary. This Spicy Mary is amazing. I love watching her. What were you going to say?
Robin looks like that she was advocating for Mary, and so Mary's going to take that, if you will, to see if she can work it out. I think also Mary's belief system was like, hang in there, try to do this.
Yeah, you're always taught to...
endure to the end.
Yeah, endure to the end is a bullshit one that happens a lot.
To keep her covenants that she had made, and when he got on national TV and said that he didn't hold those covenants that they had made sacred, then that kind of gave her, okay, good.
Yeah, we're out of here.
I can leave with a clear conscience.
So Got to Be Me Now says he told Mary it was a hypocrisy when she said, imagine I was married to another man. Yeah, that's insanity. It's disgusting. Is Robin's cold sores from taking the sacrament from a communal glass? Oh my God, that's a funny question. Thank you, Rachel, for asking that question. So, okay, I could go, this is a whole nother podcast. He's like, don't go there. Don't go there. I have a germ phobia, and that is exactly why I do. Because you all drink from the same communal glasses, and yeah.
This is probably why I was a heathen, and because I would look at that cup as it came by and
all the floaties.
There we go, pass it right on.
Yeah.
So I didn't take sacrament a lot as a kid because
it's gross.
It was disgusting.
And in my family, cold sores were not a thing until my dad married one particular wife who had been married a couple of times before. And she brought that into the family. So that's fun.
What is a cold?
Yeah. Was Robin brought up in a polygamous family? As there was speculation that she wasn't. She was. She was raised on the same compound that Cory was.
And I don't know when she came in. She could
have been a smaller child.
She could have been a young child when they moved up there. And at first it was just her biological dad, her mom, and them. They moved up there, but then the biological dad took another wife, and they all lived in our community. And then her mother obtained a release.
Hello,
and
Julianne.
then was able to marry her stepfather, who was a good guy. I like that
Yeah.
guy a lot. So married the stepfather, and then he moved them down to southern Utah, I think,
Yeah.
in my senior year. So
Fantastically Average says, do you know if Kody is still a part of the ARB, or did he leave or get kicked out? I think it was a mutual.
well, I don't. Here's the thing.
He left.
Here's the cool thing about the AUB. If you've done something wrong and you go, hey, can I still? Well, it depends.
I
But
think
if
it's
you
any
just-
religion though. Yeah, you
if
still
you
pay
just
us money,
pack
you
up
can come
and-
back.
Yeah, if you just pack up and don't associate anymore, the AUB usually aren't going to do anything. It's when you cause trouble or speak out or do stuff like that that they feel like that they need to give you papers saying that you're no longer welcome.
Yeah, he
If you
actually
keep
got
coming
a
around.
letter saying get out.
But I mean, I've even got papers saying that I'm not welcome on priesthood property, and yet I go on priesthood property all the time. So I go up and I visited my parents the whole time. I still go up and visit my mom upon their holy property, and that paper really didn't stop it. Me
Oh, Jesus.
doing that,
Somebody
so.
says you look like Ryan Reynolds. Thanks, Abuser. You are just giving my life so much.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding?
Oh my God. This is like, okay,
Hey
so
Ryan,
our son-in-law said he looked like
a young Brad Pitt.
a young Brad Pitt
When
one
I
time.
was younger.
And I was like, oh gosh, here we go. And then he even sent us a box in the mail that said,
Brad Pitt impersonator.
yeah, his head gets really big over that kind of stuff. He gets a huge ego. Can you explain the significance of a wife's bedroom set over another wife? So a bedroom set, I did a post on this. Oh my gosh, I did not expect it to blow up. It has 1 million views. And it was just us in bed talking about, you know, the listing had just come up. We're both in real estate. We've been in real estate for 25 years. And so we were talking about it because it's what we do. And so we were happy to come across the bedroom set, and I was like, oh, I should make a post about bedroom sets. Bedroom sets are a really big deal because your bedroom is the most intimate part of the home. And typically other sister wives don't go in there. And if they do, they have to be invited in. They don't just go into it. And if you do just go into other people, it's a lack of respect. And so the bedrooms are kind of a big deal. When you were younger, when I was younger, that was what you would save up for, because that was what you brought into the relationship, was your bedroom set and typically a hope chest or a cedar chest. And I got married 8 days into 17. I didn't have time to earn that kind of money to bring one in. And so my ex-husband was such a jerk about this for the whole 10 years. Well, you didn't bring anything into this marriage. I'm like, dude, you married a child. What did you think was going to happen? So there you go. That's my two cents on that. And then at one point, here's a really bad move for a polygamous man to make.
Dolls into her
Yeah,
relationship.
Thanks, babe. I brought dolls into the relationship because that's how young I was. But it's a really bad idea for a polygamous man to buy all of the women the same bedroom set, which my dad decided to do at one point. Bought all of his wives the same bedroom set. Yeah, some of them couldn't throw that
That's confusing.
shit away fast. Yeah, like you go to one wife's house and you'd be like, didn't I leave my wedding ring on your dresser and now it's gone? So no, that was the other wives. The one that has the same set I have. No real tears. Yep, I agree with that.
AUB is different from the FLDS.
Yes, the AUB is definitely different from the FLDS.
Well, they have different profits. They have different line of succession.
Yep.
There might even be some differences in how their belief systems, but they all kind of believe that their succession came from Joseph Smith and
Right.
all of that.
They
So
all believe their succession came
there's
right down from
so
Joseph
many-
Smith.
There's so many of them. I mean, you've got the Kingston group, the FLDS, the AUB. They're all just groups that have splintered off of each other. And to be honest, there are groups that have splintered off the AUB too. Smaller groups that have got their own profits now. So
Okay, it says, have you heard how Robin's ex is doing? Completely just rumor mill that he's doing great. And that he's in remission is what. I haven't spoken to him personally, neither one of us have, but from what we've heard, he's doing really good. Do you think it's true Christine is suing Kody for child support? I hope that
I
is
hope
true.
so.
It should be true.
Yeah,
I do think it is
all that
true.
and that's a lot of things. Usually in a regular marriage, if there was a divorce, there would be
Right.
child support. That's all part of the divorce. So all this is her going through the steps to, he needs to help out raising his children. So
Okay, so how many wives in your family? Cory grew up with 9 wives. My dad has had 8. They're not all like at the same time, but 8 total is what I've had. I think Mary was intentionally painted in a bad light for ratings. I would probably agree with that. I think Mary's a sweetheart. I've always gotten along really well with Mary. She has a personality that can rub people wrong sometimes because she says what she thinks, and she can, I wouldn't call it aggressive, but I think she just gets things done. And in a culture where everyone has to tiptoe around each other because nobody ever wants to rock the boat or hurt each other's feelings, that can get a little tricky. And if you are just a say it how it is person, kind of like I am, it can hurt people's feelings. Sorry, babe.
no, not hurting my
Do you
feelings.
have a
I don't have any other wives to have to appease?
You have a podcast. What's the name? Notes to Self 444, and it's on YouTube. And I got to get better about making more podcasts because I've been so focused on TikTok lately too. Watch Cory run out and buy a Jefferson D. Morgan costume for Halloween. Yes, that's going to be funny. You know him
Got
too
the
well.
bat. Yep, this is going to be great.
Sassy Gen X says, I thought Warren Jeffs was the prophet. He is the prophet of the FLDS, not the AUB. And so, like we've been saying a couple of times, they both feel like they have the line of succession all the way down from Joseph Smith. My dad's the prophet
hold
of
the righteous priesthood, the correct priesthood, and the keys.
right.
And
And
so
my dad
that's
is the
argument on
Yeah.
every group: who has
Who holds the keys.
Who holds the keys to the?
So
priest.
in Big Love, you'll see that they literally kill each other in that show. Probably, I don't know if hopefully that doesn't get censored, because they believe in blood atonement and they believe in the succession of, drop the creator's names, very similar to the culture, but also claiming we aren't in a cult. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Lynn. Do you watch The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and any thoughts on Bad Mormon? I don't watch that. It's so made for TV. 99% of it's just made up for ratings. And I don't watch it. Do I think there's a lot of Mormon people out there who do silly crap? Yep, I do. Okay, have you heard of how Robin's... Okay, sorry, we're trying to catch up on we haven't even gotten to the whole TLC thing yet, because we were trying to... Cold sores equals herpes. Yeah. And I have a couple little siblings who now hate this one wife for bringing that into the family, so they were born with it. How fun. Do you still believe in heaven and eternal life and God's love and forgiveness? Honestly, I feel like that could be a whole podcast in and of itself, but we definitely believe in being good people.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more of an energy frequency person, and you get what you...
I don't.
Yeah, that's a loaded question that could take a long time to answer.
I feel like we're all going to show up at the same place on the other side.
Yeah.
And some people are going to be going, "You're here? This has got to be hell." So.
Chess Berber says, stepdad watched Robin giving birth. Mind blown. That feels icky.
How big is the Pinesville
That's just
community?
icky to me. How big is the Pinesville community? Is the AUB declining like the FLDS? I've heard rumors both directions, honestly. I know my dad was made the prophet and kind of went in there and cleaned house a little bit, and trying to get people back into the group, and then getting rid of some people that probably shouldn't be in there. Or
I feel like that in the 70s when my parents came into it, it was growing.
His dad proselyted a lot for the AUB to really get a lot of members to come in.
Yeah, there was a growing within the AUB, but I can only kind of tell you from my point of view that I mean, he had a huge family. He had 9 wives, 26 biological kids,
Yeah.
or somewhere around there, about 35, and he has got one of those children that is actually living polygamy still.
Yeah.
And
The
all the
decline
rest
rate, like,
of
is huge.
those, all of the rest of those children, some of them are still part of the AUB, but aren't living polygamy.
Yeah.
But yeah, just from my perspective and point of view, 99% of my family
Is gone.
is gone.
Same with mine.
Gone from the AUB.
Most of
So
the kids have left.
I have zero clue how big the AUB.
Last I heard, it's like over 10,000 members, but I feel like that's like a default number that they've used for years. Okay, how big is the Pinedale community in the AUB? Oh gosh, they're asking me, how long have we been on this live? An hour already. Oh my gosh, this has gone by so fast. Is Robin really emotionally manipulative? Let me just say this. I don't know Robin personally. I never heard of Robin until this show. What I can say is that personality type is extremely rampant in the polygamous community. My dad happened to marry a couple of different women of that personality type, and I can attest to the personality type, extremely emotionally manipulative. What?
Well, just I just find it interesting that in there it's like the kids were calling Robin and asking if, and so this is just my point of view. The kids were asking Robin, "Hey, can you lighten up on the rules?" And she's going, "Those aren't my rules. Those are Kody's rules."
Yeah.
But then later on in some episodes, she's like, "Kody, you were just trying to keep the family safe," and that's
A lot of emotional
that kind of
manipulation
tells
there.
me that there's a conversation of you need to keep the family safe.
Don't you think it's a good idea to come up with rules so that the family can stay
Yeah.
safe?
And which
I think
is
you
good.
should do that.
Which
Super
is,
manipulative.
Which is good. But he also had these children. He made an agreement by having that he should still connect. And I don't care if a kid's an adult. That's probably part of my frustration with our lifestyle is once the kids become an adult, there are some times it's like,
They wash their hands
you're
of them.
done.
Oh, you're an adult.
Yeah,
we
you're
don't
an
need to do
adult. We
anything
don't
with you
need to do
anymore.
anything. Where
Yeah.
I was like, no, I love my adult children. For
Yeah.
heck's sakes, I'm hoping that when I get old and need my diapers changed,
And they'll
my
come back
adult
around.
children will be hanging around because I was nice to them.
So it says, remember when Kody saw the apartment, LL says, remember when Kody saw the apartment bedroom of Janelle's, he was disgusted with it, sad for Janelle. Honestly, this man is like, blows my mind. And it's really sad. But when you have a favorite, that all the resources go to that favorite, it's hard for the other wives to keep up with that. And some wives, they don't want that. They want the simplicity of life.
Comfort.
Right. And to them, it's more important. And so what's funny to me is that you will put all of your resources into one living situation and then criticize the other living situation. That makes no sense to me.
Diane Johnson says, how did your dad become
I love how
a
you spelled
prophet?"
profit right there,
That
Diane.
is perfect.
So
He outlived the other ones.
yeah, he outlived the other guys. No, it's supposed to be succession.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shakeup. It was supposed to be a succession. The oldest or the earliest ordained, there was a bit of a shakeup. It seems like that when he got called, it went back to the succession part. He was the oldest or the most senior
council
member.
One of the 12 apostles. He was one of the most senior 12 apostles.
Yeah.
And so by default, the most senior apostle is who's supposed to be going into the presidency. But the AUB likes to make up their own rules as they go along. And so the last couple of prophets have not had that happen. Once again, it depends on your last name and it depends on your status, is depending on what you get. Yeah. Bob's wife, yes, he was in the room when she had Solomon. I don't understand that in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, it feels a little icky. Are you still part of the, what?
See, look at that. She knew what I was going to say.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the gifts. You guys are
It
so
was
sweet
a
to us.
priesthood lineage.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was there to be able to perform priesthood blessings.
And the thing is Robin's stepdad is amazing
He is
man.
such a
Cory
cool guy.
absolutely loved. I didn't know him personally, but Cory did, and has nothing but really good things to say about him.
Yeah.
Are you still part of the AUB? No, but our family members would really like us to be. We've been invited back numerous times.
Not now.
Not now that I have a podcast, no. But before the podcast, yes, we were very much asked to come back a lot. Every time my dad saw me, he would beg us to come back. And but we're not currently a part of the AUB. No, I think I'm okay without that level of hypocrisy in my life. I lived in Utah and Mormon people are very hypocritical. Oh, silly question. Yeah, Bella Rose, I agree with you. The hypocrisy, and that's why we've just chosen not to have.
Well, a lot of their belief systems come with hypocrisy all wrapped up in it. That
Yeah.
They believe this here, but this belief system over here is hypocritical. So
Yeah,
and most belief systems have some level of hypocrisy in it.
right.
So study your belief system, see if there's any hypocrisy wrapped up in that.
Right.
So
I'm so happy to hear the rumors of Robin's ex being in remission. I hope it's true. I mean, it went around on a phone tree.
yeah, phone trees are cool.
Yeah.
Haven't it?
If you are in a
I
phone
wonder if
tree
the phone
in
tree's
your
going off.
church, then then you get updates, and it went around on a phone tree that he was in remission. Yeah, thank you, William. I don't know what all these gifts mean yet. We're going to get there. I swear, guys. We're going to learn how to do these lives. And I never know how long to take a live for, but there's still questions coming, so we're going to keep talking because it's a Friday night and
Robin?
we're boring.
Robin is
Who is Robin? I just got here. She is Kody Brown's wife. She's
fourth
his
wife.
Yeah, Kody Brown's fourth and legal wife. And Katie says Mary is direct. Yo says hi sweetheart. I have really enjoyed your content. Thank you. She is from the FLDS and she left the FLDS and I have really appreciated her content. I love listening to you. Thank you. Okay, live creators. Let's see. Are you still a part of the AUB? Nope, we just answered. I'm immediately confused. What's happening? We're just talking about all things polygamy on this channel. We were both born and raised in a polygamous community. My dad's the current prophet of the AUB, so welcome. Is the AUB and other similar groups fundamentally good? Boy, that's a loaded question.
Yeah, I
They
think
try to be. They think they are.
they have similar faiths that are based in good, and I
Yeah.
feel like that one of the things that the sister wives were trying to do at the beginning is bring to light that
The goodness of
the
it.
goodness of it, because when you have a secret society or a society where you're hiding from everything,
Secrecy.
not so nice people
Yeah,
are
secrecy
attracted
breeds.
to that secret.
Yep.
And so then you have bad apples, I guess, that would come in and be a part of it. And if there was light shown upon it and
Right.
everything was, no, this is okay. And if there was that people didn't, I don't know,
Yeah.
shun
Secrecy.
or
It
push
breeds
people
abusers.
away. Yeah, it does.
It really
And so
does.
if it came to light that this is a lifestyle that people
Yeah.
do, and they're normal human beings out there that are just people
Yeah.
do, and they're normal human beings out there that are just trying to live their life and be good people, then I think everything would be cleaned up within
Yeah.
these polygamous groups. But when they hide themselves, when they surround themselves, not only do bad people come into that situation, but powerful people become bad people themselves
And that's
when they
so
get
true.
that power
Yep.
and move up and then rule with an iron fist.
That's so true. They all say they hold the keys. Yes, don't they all? Robin is the last sister wife. Okay, did Robin's brother pass? Yes, unfortunately, that is a very sad, tragic situation. Her baby brother did from her mom, from Alice. What is the real story of how Janelle joined the Brown family? Their version doesn't add up. I honestly don't know that. I didn't know Janelle
I
before.
didn't either.
The first time I ever saw Janelle was right after she married Kody and they came to church. And they came in as a family to church. And that was the first time I ever met Janelle. I actually knew Janelle's ex-husband pretty well, and I really liked him. He was a good man.
I've met Mary with her.
Real Lives of Coyote Pass. Hilarious.
I never knew Mary. I never knew Janelle. Christine, we'd go over and play volleyball
Yeah.
when I was a kid, and Robin's family, I knew them when I was a kid. So
I think Janelle's the one that we're most unfamiliar with. We reached out to her a little
She's
bit when
awesome.
I love Janelle. She reminds me a lot of my mom. We reached out to her when they lived in Vegas, and she was the real estate agent because that's what we do. And so we were connecting with her to be able to send her stuff. Waiting for real lives of Diane says, waiting for the real lives of Coyote Pass. I love that. That's hilarious.
And so again, all I can do is compare Janelle to one of my dad's wives that was she was a hard worker. She loved us kids, and if there was something that if one of us got hurt and it wasn't our mom wasn't there, we could go, and she was nurturing and loving, and so
Janelle and Christine have that relationship with each other's children.
Have created that safe place, I think, where
my mom was that person
each one
too.
of those guys could go and do that. So,
yeah. And the family revolved around my mom.
Yeah.
And so that's been really hard for my family, for my mom to have left my dad, but they still do revolve around my mom. Do you still have a relationship? Okay, Trisha says, do you still talk to your dad and have a good relationship? Well, his father passed, and that's not funny. Sorry, babe. But yes, I mean, I just saw him at my grandma's funeral. So I kind of explained this in one of the videos I'm about to post. My brother passed last year and he was disabled, and the way my dad has handled that has caused me to take a big step back from my dad. And so I have not been around my dad that much because I've been pretty disgusted about how he handled the passing of my little brother who was disabled.
But I have a good relationship.
I love my dad, and he loves Cory. He would throw me out the door and keep Cory in 2 seconds because he adores Cory. And every time he sees him, he says, "How are you doing, son?" So yes, Cory has an amazing relationship with my dad. I have a little bit of frustration.
Do
you all have other spouses? Just
Not
each other.
that we know of.
Just each other. I was married once before and had 3 children with him in the AUB, and then I got divorced and married this handsome, sexy gem of a man. There goes his head. There goes his ego. There's an estimated 60,000 total polygamists from Canada down to Mexico. Yep, that's true. Thanks, Emily. And
60,000?
Yeah. And then Bob's wife, over 250 of us here. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I hate it when it skips like that because I'm trying to get to everybody. Were there any ramifications of Mary divorcing Kody so that he could marry Robin and adopt her kids? I mean, other than the family falling apart. And honestly, I have some strong opinions about that because they didn't even ask Christine or Janelle if they were okay with switching up the family dynamic like that. They were informed that this was what was going to happen, and they didn't even talk about it as a family. That is so wrong. In my personal opinion, that is so wrong on so many levels. You're all in a group relationship. There should be a group consensus on what happens with that. So I have some pretty strong opinions about that because I get so tired of the priesthood authority that he just goes to one wife and then they just make a decision that affects everyone. That's wrong. That's so wrong. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, love.
No, I'm just a conspiracy theorist, so it was a good story.
Yeah, it was a good storyline. Were you all ever polygamous? No, we weren't. Cory was kicked out. Get out. Before he was able to, and then my ex-husband and I courted and never actually married. How accurate?
I was a child in polygamy, so
Yeah.
I grew up as a child in polygamy. I was the first child of the second wife. So I have 2.
I'm the first child of the second wife.
Yeah, I have 2 biological or 2 brothers from another mother that are older than me, and then a whole lot of.
And I have 2
brothers
older
and
siblings
sisters
older than
younger
me.
So
How accurate was the show Escaping Polygamy? Well, the AUB versions were
Weird,
we don't know those people personally.
Yeah.
Let's just disclaim that.
I escaped by packing up my vehicle
You never have to
and
run
driving
it. Yeah.
away.
Like that's, if you want to leave, you just leave.
You just leave.
That was ridiculous.
And it was packing up my vehicle, getting ready to drive out, and then they sent me a letter, hey, don't come back. And I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to come back and visit my family. So
It was made for TV.
It was.
Melanie, great name, by the way. Abusers thrive in darkness. Absolutely they do. And this is one of the reasons why I started my podcast and wanted to talk about things, because abusers do thrive in darkness. And once you can pull those layers back and bring some light to the situation, then some of the abuse hopefully will stop. You guys are beautiful. Oh, thank you, abuser. That's sweet of you. Thank you. This has been an amazing, thank you for sharing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, I did not know if we would even get any sort of live people like wanting to hear what we had to say. You guys are doing great.
Lindy.
Enjoy this. Lindy, thanks, Lindy. Let's see.
Don't.
My fifth GGP is Titus Billings. My fifth great grandpa is Titus Billings. He bought my fourth great grand and gave her to his son as a second wife. Oh geez, that sounds all. Yeah. How was Robin growing up? Yeah, why don't you go ahead and answer that question, babe? You want to answer that honestly?
To be honest,
William Barlow, thanks. William.
I was older than her.
Oh, 20,000 likes? Oh, thank you.
I knew them hanging out, but she probably, if they did hung out at all, hung out with my little sisters. So, I was, what?
Oh, somebody says
7 years older than her. I hung out with her older brother. We went and did stuff, hung out and did stuff all the time. So,
yeah.
I really didn't know her on a personal level.
Yeah.
I knew her biological father. He was over at the house all the time. I knew her mom.
Yeah, her biological father was at Cory's house a lot. They were actually good friends. Oh, thanks, Shanae. I appreciate it.
There was a knife in the kidney.
Until there was a knife in the kidneys with Robin's biological dad and Cory's dad. It was a bad situation. Nick is
awful.
loud. He's in the background gaming. Oh, that's funny. Okay, we have a 17-year-old in the background gaming. Sorry, I didn't know you guys could hear him.
Who is that?
Mindum says, and Patricia says, why did Kody want his sons to leave the house at such a young age? 18, I think it was. Okay, we have a whole opinion about this. This is a really hard one because we could get ourselves in trouble by talking too deeply about that. I think personally, a lot of the young men are kicked out very young because there's a lot of financial responsibility and they typically tend to go to work super early. And honestly, when you start to get older and you start to see through your parents' bullshit and you start to call them out on that bullshit, they don't like it and they want you gone.
So, and I want to be clear, I wasn't kicked out of the AUB by my parents.
No, not at all.
My parents were upset that the priesthood leaders did that. They didn't. And I was always welcome back into their home, to visit. I've always been welcome.
Look how handsome he is.
Yeah.
Of course they kicked him out. He was a threat and was taking all the young women away.
The AUB and the leadership of the AUB, and the interesting part is I don't even think they knew, some of them knew who I was, but when I left, I came down here, and when I married Melanie, and she would go to AUB functions, because I don't have a lot of family that's part of the AUB, so I don't really go to a lot of functions on my side. She does. And so when I'd go to a function, some of those people who had signed my paperwork saying, get out, were like, hey, it's so good to see you.
Welcome,
they
brother.
didn't even have a clue.
They didn't even,
they kicked me out. So.
They're like, welcome, brother. Somebody says, I think there's something wrong with Kody.
Ego is probably one of the...
Pride and ego.
And I'm not going to... My ego's pretty big. I mean, you guys have been filling up my ego saying how...
I know.
I look like rock stars and things. But yeah, it is. It's a lot of the... It's a lot of the ego. It's a lot of the way that we were trained up that we as priesthood holders have some sort of something bigger than...
Yeah.
And it's that smashed up my belief system where I was like, no, we're all created equal. Men,
right.
All of us are created equal. So...
Says, Katrina says, do you two live polygamous lifestyle? Sorry, I'm late. We don't. No, we left. And in fact, when we started seeing each other, we actually met through the polygamous community. Well, his sister-in-law was my best friend, and we met that way. And
My brother invited me to go down to hang out with
on a boating excursion with me and my ex-husband. So that's how I met him. And we actually became good friends before we started. And maybe one day we'll do a live and talk about how...
she was just awesome.
Yeah, I was awesome.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, and so then when we decided to start dating, we literally had the conversation that we would never live polygamy. Because that's the scary thing when you start dating somebody from the previous cult that you were in, and then one of you wants to go back and the other one doesn't want to go back.
I disclosed right up front
Yeah.
that I had been excommunicated, that I was unclean.
Yeah, and so I was very, very, very cautious, and he was as well, because we just don't want to have anything to do with that. Were you ever polygamous? No, we were not.
Ever polygamous?
No.
Oh, no.
Were there ramifications?
Would we ever? No.
No.
I did it. First 18 years of my life as a child, I lived it as a child
Yeah.
and saw
Abuse.
I saw all the stuff that went on and went, I was very honest with my dad that, I am never going to have more than one wife. So,
Yeah. Okay, somebody says, we're going to go live weekly. Yes, we are. Talk about this show. Lorik says, what was the feeling of the AUB when the Browns started the show? They were extremely advised not to do the show.
she would
My dad was their advisor.
She would know.
And I had a lot of conversations with him about that. And they were extremely discouraged from doing the show, and they chose to do it anyways.
Do I think polygamous marriages
Can work. No.
Here's my opinion only on it. A polygamous marriage is almost identical, I would say, to a divorced marriage, where a couple have been divorced and another man marries somebody else, and there's a tension constantly, and the kids feel it. And so all I'm looking at is through a kid's point of view.
The tension was horrible.
Tension was always there. There was
Yeah.
always some sort of, and so it's hard. It's a hard lifestyle. It's arguments, it's sadness, it's heartbreak, and you as kids get to see that and want your parents to like each other or do it. But I grew up in a polygamous. I seen my kids grow up in a divorce situation. I feel empathy for them because I saw and felt the same. It's
hard. It's too hard.
Heartbreak. So.
I think the only way that they work is if you never communicate and you never really talk about anything and you just stuff your feelings. Then they do. They do work, but then is that really working? Mary is the first wife and he really treated her badly. So I did an actual TikTok about the different polygamist personalities of the wives. And there's a reason for that. And you can go watch that video if you'd like to. Were Kody and Mary the it couple when they were married? Yes. So I met Kody, he didn't know because, he was in Montana. But the first time that Kody ever came out to the AUB, I was there and he was like this big showboat. Everybody was like, oh, there's a new guy and he's super friendly and he's cute and he's blonde and he's blue-eyed, and and he had just gotten off his mission from the LDS church, and all the girls were like fawning over him so severely. My sister thought 100% she was going to marry him. And he was the newest, like most greatest thing, and all the girls were in love with him. And yes, they were very much the it couple when they got married. And Mary was a cutie bug. Janelle is a strong-willed woman. Yes, she is. I love Janelle. I love watching her. She reminds me of my mom too. It was accurate for the girls who were on it. Production tried to make it more. It was accurate for the girls that were on it. Oh, about escaping a polygamy. Thanks, Emily, for answering that. I would also have to consider you are married to my brother, Connie B. I don't know what, sorry, maybe I missed something. I would also have to, considering you were married to my brother. Oh, okay, sorry, that must be somebody following up on another one. Walk by Faith says, can I ask a question?
Oh, is it one of my sisters?
Absolutely. It might be one of your sisters. Yeah, sorry. It's hard to follow. This is why
Or
we need a
was it
moderator, and I apologize. She had to leave.
Or was one of my brother husband's sisters?
Oh, geez. He calls my ex-husband his brother husband.
He is.
I think he coined that phrase, to be honest. And then my dad thought it was so hilarious that my dad started using it all over the place. And now when Kody said that on national television one time, I was like, ew, it sounded so cringe. I was like, yeah, babe, don't ever use that again, because he just ruined that. So yes, Walk by Faith,
I have
please
a better
ask a question.
relationship with my brother husband than she does.
Yeah, that's very true. I can't. Thank you for liking the live. Oh crap, it just jumped like 50 comments. Shoot, sorry, we're trying to get to all your guys' comments. We'll stay on live as long as you guys want to. So let me go back here. This is interesting. I've just been listening. I've watched Sister Wives. Yeah, thank you, Angie. It's amazing. Tell me about Mary and Christine. Oh gosh, Vanessa asks, tell me about, there's a lot to say about those two. I love those two. Wendy says, I love watching Janelle and Christine thrive in happiness. Oh, me too. Mm-hmm. There's nothing like seeing somebody come out of such a suppressive situation and thrive. It is amazing. Connie B says, I think the documentaries make sure you question the safety. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Connie B, do you know me?
Yeah, Cory thinks you might be related. Haley Heathcote says, you guys are so interesting. Sending you love from the UK. Thank you, Haley. We appreciate that. Oh. Aloha from Hawaii. Well, thank you. Oh my gosh, we have people all over watching this. This is crazy.
Come visit.
How did you get kicked out? He's so naughty. He had a lot of girls who thought he was
practicing polygamy without the approval.
Without a license.
Yeah.
That's what you should say from now on. I was practicing polygamy without a license. Yeah.
I was not.
Yeah. He had a lot of girls up there who liked him. And when there's young men who come in and they're a threat to the older men because they're going to take the younger women, or you mess around with the wrong leader's daughter or granddaughter. Connie B says, does that get messy when the woman wants to leave and either her kids, I don't understand that question. It can get messy if she wants to leave and her kids don't want to. Yeah, that can but typically she can take her kids with her if she wants to. I know in the FLDS they struggle with that a little bit more. AUB is not that way. You can take your kids if you want to. I mean, anyone can take their kids if they want to. It just depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, you just have to go through the legal system.
Yeah.
And
when I got divorced, I obtained full legal custody of my children. And do they kick males out so there are more women per man? Yes, absolutely they do, Diane.
And a lot of males leave.
A lot of the young men leave.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, would you want to be married to multiple women? Sheesh,
no.
That would sound like a pain in the butt.
To be honest, a lot of us that grew up in it and saw it had no interest. I'm trying to think of the kids that I grew up with, and there's probably one or two maybe in my group of kids of the boys that actually stayed in there.
Yeah.
Most of the girls stayed in my graduating class.
Yeah.
A lot of the girls stayed in, but very few of us guys did. We left. We wanted to go out and search around. So
yeah, a lot of them will leave. It says, this question right here says, do you think that Kody and Robin will stay together? Okay, based on that last TLC thing that I just saw, I was really surprised by that because Kody made that perfectly clear that he does not acknowledge the AUB leadership in any way, shape, or form. That was really surprising to me because Robin seems like she's a 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of girl. Always leave your options open to be able to get back in if you needed to. So I don't know. I was really, really surprised by that last TLC drop, to be totally honest. Because do I think they stay together for the foreseeable future?
They seem to be in love.
They seem to fit each other. Jamie says, would it be normal or common for the legal wives to switch up? I mean, it happens. You know, my dad's legal wife left him way back in the day when I was 2 years old. She divorced him. He swore he would never take on another legal wife again. And he did about 25 years ago, married one of the wives legally and didn't even bother to let the other wives know for months on end. So I think it just depends.
And so my dad was legally married to his first wife, and then when she passed away, he legally married his wife that had the youngest kids.
Yeah.
So because he was
Wanted
in
to
the
make sure those
military,
kids, yeah.
he was in the military, he had a pension, he had all of that stuff, and so he had legally married the wife, and then when he passed on, she was able to get the pension.
The benefits, the military
Yeah.
benefits for those younger children.
And when Dad passed, he had 2 wives that were alive that were still married to him. That's the youngest and my mom, and both my moms, and she has been helping take care of my mom with that pension. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
she's a sweetheart.
It's amazing.
She's such a good woman.
Yeah, both of them are my
yeah.
moms.
So
I
Di,
love them, Dad.
or is it Di, says, "Oh, I love you both. Thank you for sharing your story and opinions with us." Oh, thank you.
So it was cool to. There were pluses, there were positive things,
Yeah.
and negative things.
And we'll talk about a lot of the
I've got-
positive things too, because we really did
I've
have
got
a good.
multiple mothers who love me as their son. So
Yeah.
that is amazing. So
Okay, pause on questions and talk about the release of the information from TLC. My sister's on here. Okay.
yeah, what is
It was the whole, okay, the you got to pull it up on your phone because we had it playing on our TV, but it expired. So
Get my old
Robin
man
is
glasses.
manipulative and got exactly what she wanted. I mean, results speak for themselves. Sherry Flick Campbell says, so was the bio dad treated and removed like she did Preston?
Oh, sorry, say that again.
Was Robin's, I'm assuming Robin, says Sherry Flick Campbell says, so was the bio dad treated and removed like she did with Preston?
Was it treated?
Yeah.
To be so
we don't know
he
exactly because we were not there.
removed.
But
I don't. So
did she treat her, like, did she get rid of her bio dad the way she got rid of Preston? Or did the mom and the family? Oh,
I don't.
we don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if
To
she
be
had
honest.
a relationship with her bio dad after.
The bio dad was interesting,
Yeah.
and we can leave it right
Yeah.
there.
But,
He wasn't.
and to be honest,
He wasn't very well liked or very well known.
and see this again, just my opinion, but I knew the new husband, and
Cory really liked her stepdad.
yeah, I liked her stepdad. It's not that I disliked her bio dad. I just
Interesting.
he was interesting, and the family thrived when
Yeah.
thrived, and he was just she had reasons to ask for a release and got him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Robin's mom
and
had every
he-
reason to leave, and she married a really good man.
yep. And I have to be that kind of way because I'm that new guy in some of the
Yeah, he's the
things.
to my children, so
Yeah,
he's the
'cause
new guy. I
love
definitely upgraded.
all of my children.
Do you still believe in polygamy? No. How many wives do you have? Just me. And he's
Oh,
so
yeah.
lucky he got me. How long have you two been married? You're so freaking cute together. Oh, thank you, Pistol Packing Mom. So we that's a great name too, by the way. We just celebrated our 23rd anniversary. So I married him. We got married in 2001, and we are actually going to do a 4-part series on our podcast for our relationship process. Does Kody work? Because it seems like the wife. I've heard the same kind of rumor mill you guys have heard on throughout the gossip columns and stuff. I really don't know. What was the reason they gave you for the excommunication? Sexy
Adultery.
beast. Adultery.
Adultery.
I like sexy beast though better, don't you?
Yeah, I guess so.
It was adultery because she was promised to somebody in the pre-existence, and he was promised
I'd
to
never
somebody
been
in the
married. I wasn't
pre-existence.
married, so.
She wasn't married. He wasn't married. A/B makes up their own rules.
Yeah.
I don't see how people live polygamous lifestyle. I couldn't share a husband with any other woman. Yeah, my first husband I probably pretty easily could have shared because I didn't love him the way that I love this guy. Dee Dee, one spouse is hard enough to handle. So Kody no longer belongs in the church. If they got kicked out, he did. Yeah. I don't think he got kicked out. He just left. It was mutual. It was mutual. Can you explain the release
And he
process?
probably could come back if he wanted to. So
can you explain the release process? Does a wife or husband normally start it? Typically, it's going to be the wife.
It's going to, yeah, because it's an ego thing. A man or a priesthood holder doesn't want to.
Yeah, he wants that number on his belt.
He needs 3 of those ticks to make it to the celestial kingdom. And so
even if she doesn't like him and despises him,
yeah.
that doesn't matter. It gets him into heaven if he's got 3.
And he's going to keep, even sometimes when if she just divorces him legally and leaves and doesn't sue for the release, then he still has that mark on his get into heaven card.
Right.
And he gets to claim that. So.
And I only pursued a release. I was a lot like Christine. I didn't believe in the leadership anymore. I was out of there. And then when I started dating Cory, because Cory came from the same group.
I didn't want to be a servant in heaven. And if she stayed connected to him in their belief system, then I would be a servant in heaven underneath her.
And he knew my dad would never
husband.
Fully accept him as my husband unless I did seek out that release.
I didn't think he was going to accept me anyhow.
I know, but now he adores you. He thinks you're amazing.
I'm a pretty cool
Yeah,
guy.
and so I actually did, finally after 18 months, I finally called the prophet and I was just like, we're done. I want to release today. And I went over there and he said a couple words and I was like, are you bullshitting me right now? That was it. And then it was over. Yeah, yes, we need to hear your origin story. You two are fantastic. Oh, thanks, Callie. Yeah, we are going to do a 4-part series on our relationship, and because a lot of people are curious about it, and they were actually kicked out of their church or not. It was just for the show. They were not kicked out. 30,000 followers. What? I don't even know what that means. I'm jealous to ever think about polygamy. Yeah, honestly. We are humans. We all have favorites. That's why polygamy doesn't work. Absolutely. Every family has a favorite wife. I don't care who they are. Over 30,000 likes. You guys rock. So was the bio dad treated and removed like she did? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. This thing likes to skip and hop. Why does Kody say he can't leave a wife, but they can leave him? That's what's ridiculous. It's what we just explained. He just doesn't want that notch off his belt. He could leave him if he wanted to. He just doesn't want to. And he knows he's in the wrong. And they're not going to give him a release because he's in the wrong. But love should be multiplied, not divided. Well, yeah, that's a good tagline for a show that you don't really want. Kody did marry so wrong.
So you
Absolutely.
multiply it. Yeah, the math doesn't work there.
That's such a...
You multiply it with 1 wife, okay? You divide it with 4.
Yeah. Love Janelle. So, yeah, too. That's not surprising. He's such a narcissist. Oh, crap.
He didn't do good in math.
Kody wasn't a mathematician.
No.
Oh my God. I didn't even listen to the whole post, but as soon as
homeschooled.
she said who they were, I was all in. Thank you so much. Your ex was your sister wife? I don't understand that question, Ladybug. You can ask it again and I'll make sure I answer it. Can men be added to a family? No. Nope, it's just the women that have multiple, it's just the man that has multiple wives. It doesn't go the other way.
Be added, well, it depends on what the question is you're asking. Can a man get sealed to
Multiple different women?
Well, my grandfather was not a part of the AUB. None of my grandfathers or my dad and all of his wives came into the AUB and weren't a part.
Thank you, Stephanie. That was so nice of you.
Didn't have a priesthood lineage, if you would. And so my dad got sealed under Rulin to attach his priesthood lineage. It wasn't a marriage, but if that's what you're asking.
So, his dad was sealed to Rulin as a son.
As a son.
And my dad was sealed to Owen Allred as a son. Steph, thank you. Thank you, Steph. You guys are so nice. We're still learning what these gifts are, so
But
we appreciate
them.
it. It says,
I like the burning eyes.
Was the prophet your dad at the time you got released? No, Owen Allred was the prophet, and my ex-husband was in his back pocket. True, just curious because it still seems like adultery. Not if everyone is consenting. What does the AUB stand for? Apostolic United Brethren. So it's not adultery if the man's part, if he has multiple wives. Oh, that looks fun. Stephanie Tech threw something in there like... Yeah, I've always been intrigued by cults and then stumbled upon Carol Jessup's book, amazing read. I've heard that too. I've never actually read that book. Yes, I'm proud of her for doing it. I'm glad you found each other. Thank you. Yeah, it was really awesome. I actually had to ask him out because he's so shy and he thought I was still married. And I said, no, I'm not married. Take me out. And so that's the beginning of our love story right there.
What is your podcast again?
Oh, the name of my podcast is on YouTube. It's called Notes to Self 444. Thank you, Steph. Cindy, thank you. The thing Kody said about Mary was horrible. The way he treated her is first. It's disgusting. It's beyond disgusting.
Yeah, some of the things he said, not about Mary.
Yeah.
He made agreements. Through their marriage stuff, he made agreements not to talk either way.
Yeah.
And same with his children. He needs to be a lot more loving and open to his children. Those kids didn't ask to be a part of this, and they're seeing things happen and are maybe lashing out and being frustrated, but they need to know that their dad still loves them.
Right.
So.
And Connie B says, if they're spiritually married, why do they need to get a divorce? No legal issues. That's right. I didn't feel, I actually filed for a legal divorce, even though I wasn't legally married, because I needed to establish.
She had 3 children by him.
Yeah. And I needed to.
Been married long enough that.
We were common law married. And everyone knew me as his wife. And so we decided to go ahead and file for a legal divorce so that I could get full custody of my children.
And so that I didn't have to change my name to my husband's last name.
Oh, stop it. He always said he was going to take on, that's a whole other story. We'll go into that on our 4-part series. In your opinion, is the problem with the Browns Kody being self-centered? Yeah, absolutely.
Ego.
It's very much ego.
Ego. If he could have humbled, love.
Right. When the first person came to him and said, oh, thank you, I think it's Carmen. Thank you. When the first person came to him and said, hey, there feels like some unfairity. Instead of getting defensive and upset, if he took a step back and went, oh my gosh, how do I correct this? I think his family would be in a different place. Mm-hmm. But when you get defensive and upset and you're just start defending yourself and you're not actually even, trying to correct the problem, you're just telling everyone else around you that they're wrong and they don't respect you. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. I don't know what that is. You look kind of hot. It says, do you know Preston and how was he in your opinion? I knew Preston, but not personally. Cory grew up down the street from Preston.
Yep. Love that whole family.
They're great boys. Amazing. Great family. That's why I have a hard time when I hear some of this stuff on the show about him, because
some of my other best friends.
Yeah, that family was just an amazing family. What do you think of the legal papers Christine filed against Kody? Amazing. I think every woman should do that. Yes, the bio dad is always discarded that way. It feels that way, huh, Emily? What? It makes me so mad that Kody doesn't seem to acknowledge his fault in all this. That goes right back to what we were just saying.
Ego.
Right. If he would have even just slightly taken a step back and went, let me see what I can do to fix this, his family would be different.
I want everybody to... How many sisters do I have on this?
I know, right?
Post.
Cory doesn't know if half of these girls are sisters. Did he ever get in trouble with the military for living polygamy? He was out of the military by the time he became a polygamist, right? Because wasn't your dad like late into his 40s or early 40s?
So he retired from the military, and he was actually had come out here to Utah. He had joined the Mormon church, came out to Utah, and was writing books and doing tours and stuff. So he was no longer in the military. Yeah. Him and his first wife were both retired military.
Yeah.
So, and then he came out here to Utah, had joined the Mormon church, and then had met Rulin and those guys and met my mom. So.
Oh, Lady A. Hi, Lady A. So Punk Rock Polygamist says Lady A is watching now. Oh, I actually grew up with her and actually really liked her growing up.
Hey, Punk Rock.
Yeah, it's good to see you guys. What does AUB stand for? Apostolic United Brethren. Did you ever have sister wives with the first hubby? No, we dated and got pretty close a couple of times, but never. I actually decided at that point I didn't want to do it, and we didn't. He was very angry at me for not allowing him to get a second wife. So if Kody doesn't want to release from the ex-wife, spiritually still connected. No, it doesn't matter. His opinion doesn't matter. If the priesthood head gives them a release, she gets one. And again, like I said, AUB leadership likes to make the rules up as they go along. So, was your sister wife in your last marriage? Nope, I didn't have a sister wife. Thank you for explaining. Is Christine as lovely in real life as she is on the show? Yes, I always thought she was. So
she's hilarious.
She's funny.
She's such an
I grew up next to her. So when you join the AUB and you don't have, like, your parents aren't part of the AUB, you typically have an adoptive family. Christine's grandma adopted my dad. And so I grew up calling her grandma
Mindy.
my grandma. Yeah, thank you, Mindy. That was nice of you. We look like old people. And so yeah, I grew up with Christine pretty closely. Lockered right next to her in high school, and she's just a sweetheart. I absolutely love her. My father was also sealed to rule in. Oh, okay, Rachel. Okay.
Oh.
Rachel, thank you for, like, we've been doing a bunch of research figuring out how we're related or know you.
Well,
with his mom.
She's bringing down some pictures of my little polygamous school thing, and I think she thinks you're in there.
Yeah, so I'll have to send you that
She knew
picture,
your dad.
Rachel. Okay, do you have a relationship with your dad? Yes. I mean, yes, we still do. He's obviously not very happy about my podcast.
I go up once or twice a year and visit my dad at the gravesite.
Oh my, Cory's dad passed a few years ago. Oh my God,
Cool
you're
guy,
so
though.
bad.
I
You're
like him.
so bad. Yes, let's see. It's adultery. Well, I mean, yeah. Did you have sister wives? No, we never had sister wives. Thank you, Emily, for helping me answer questions. Emily is my sister, and I absolutely adore her. Are the Plymouth, Utah, Washiki part of the AUB? No, I've actually never even heard of them.
Don't.
So no. I have watched
30 years I've been away from
Yeah.
I don't know all the groups they have
Yeah.
that they have now. I know some people in it, and I walk into different
Scotland.
groups.
Somebody's here from Scotland. So my husband is Scottish. He had a
Well, I
hat.
have, yeah.
He had a kilt handmade from Scotland,
On
and he
my
plays the
mom's side.
bagpipes. We should get him to play for us one day. He looks really
Scottish
handsome in his.
Willful.
He looks really, really handsome in his Scottish garb. I love it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
I'll come
awesome.
visit you someday.
Thank you, Sharon
From,
Buckman. That makes us happy. Yeah, that's one of our bucket list items is to go to Scotland.
Yes, I'll be come visiting.
Connie says, I've watched all the Warren Jeffs. Yeah, that's fascinating, huh? Natalie says, Kody comes across as a terrible person. Yeah. Jackie says his true colors finally came out. Eventually they do. And when you have that for national television, that's not fun.
Well, it's when you get so frustrated and so angry that you just
Yeah.
blow up, and his real thoughts come out.
Yeah. Callie Girl says, what really is a prophet other than being a higher power? It's called control.
It's just
They believe they're the ones who receive inspiration from God, and that they bring that inspiration and guidance to the rest of their following. And
they're supposed to be the highest example
yeah.
of living
Yeah.
here on earth, so that you can look up to them and follow them there.
And he's supposed to be able to have whatever, information from God to relay to the rest of the world.
But hey, you don't have to. You have the right to communicate to your own creator.
Right. We have very firm
So-
beliefs that there is absolutely 0 person on this planet that steps between you and your maker.
Yeah.
And that's basically what a prophet is somebody between you and your maker. And that's why we don't believe in a leadership like that. Do other men in the community ever hold him accountable, ever actually scold him? I'm assuming that you mean Kody by that. I'm sure that there are. My dad told me about his last conversation that he had with
that's
Kody.
Probably
And
why he says BS.
it's interesting. Yeah.
They're BS. So
Yep.
somebody's probably reached out to him and said, should do this a little different. And
Yeah, when my dad told me
Go
about
on
that
your
final
phone.
conversation that he had with Kody, I was like, oh, dang. Okay, thank you for your answers. Thought on Christine's taking child support? Go. I absolutely agree. These men need to be held accountable for the responsibilities that they created.
yeah.
Do you think that there are some men that just use this openly to cheat and don't believe in the faith? Absolutely. Absolutely they do.
Mm-hmm.
They say all the right things, do all the right things, and then they get whatever they need or want.
And they might have believed at the beginning, and then as things went on, but that, you know what I mean? Then
Yeah.
some of them just go, okay, next. And you'll see him marry a young wife and just disregard the rest of them.
Yeah,
So,
and that's so
and there's
sad.
been so many people that have actually left the group that they'll have many wives, many kids. They get a young wife,
Yeah.
and they take the young wife and leave.
Yep.
So-
We've seen that happen a lot. That's why his son was so upset. Yeah. Yeah. I think those younger boys started to grow up and probably started to call their dad out on a lot of the,
Some of the hypocrisy, some of
yep. And so then he went,
that they probably hadn't seen before, but it was starting to become clear to them.
yeah. And it says, do you all have sister wives? No.
Never will.
No.
Nope.
Nope. We are, how did you get custody of your children? I fought really hard and it took a lot of money. It took me about $20,000 and a year and a half in the court system. And I finally had to just concede to a bunch of different things in the divorce, just so that because that was the only thing that I wanted to walk out of the divorce with was full custody and full legal custody.
From Florida. Hello.
Hi, our daughter lives in Florida for
So does my
temporarily. So, oh yeah, your brother does too. Duh, we knew that. So if Mary had to ask for a release again, is that counted as a second divorce from Kody? Yep, pretty much.
Say that again.
If
What?
Mary had to ask for a release after the legal divorce, does that count as a second divorce? I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
just
slap the
one
man
for
over each cheek.
Yeah.
How many sister wives do you guys have? None. Do your ex fight for custody? No. Nope, he didn't. He cared more about the finances than he did about the children. Oh. What is crazy, and most polygamous men unfortunately do. They care more about the financial situation than they do about the children.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
think he
pretty
was-
evident on TV. You think what?
Probably more interested on, okay, but let's go find another wife, so. Start over, but never happened for the poor guy.
Yeah. What is crazy
that
is he
was
would have
brother.
handled it well. They would have all stayed. Absolutely, they would have.
Mhm.
Yep, absolutely, they would have stayed. He would not be in the divorces that he is if he would have just taken a step back and put his pride and ego aside. They would have absolutely stayed with him. Those women are very committed. They don't have any, they grew up in polygamy but never practiced. Emily Lee, I've always assumed that it was Kody. He just got bored. Okay, let's see if we can get, can't believe he said that he never loved him. What a load of shit. I mean, let's just be honest. He absolutely did. I was there. I saw a lot of it. He absolutely did. Oh, shoot. Dang it. I wanted to read that next one and it just jumped. They said something about,
Emily said
you're the
watch.
cutest couple. Thank you for sharing. Oh, thank you. Do you think he ever really did love any of his wives? Absolutely. Yeah, I know, but I wonder if we should do another live talking about the TLC thing because we are going a little bit long,
I
which
think
is
we
fine.
kind of covered a little bit of it. I mean,
Yeah.
my surprise was it that he called out the AUB BS.
I know.
Which is kind of,
Well, he drew a line in the sand for sure with the leadership
Yeah.
of the AUB.
and then it's interesting because he kind of went on there and said if Mary wanted to marry somebody else, that right there would give her
Great.
grounds for
A release right there.
because he's abandoned the situation.
Well, and then what made me so
And then he
disgusted?
said
Yeah.
that the AUB's BS, so he's,
Well, and then he's like, "Oh, it took her long enough to get the hint." Are you kidding me?
yeah.
Who says that? Like, even if you hate your
This is where I have that, I'm always laughing at the emotion involved in this is our sacred covenant. Well, he made that same sacred covenant to the other three wives that he wasn't going to honor.
Yeah.
And so is he going to honor that now that he's a monogamist? Probably. I don't know. We'll
right?
see.
Do you think Kody wanted to live polygamous lifestyle, or did he just want the other three wives to play with? I think he genuinely. Connie said, yeah, I think he genuinely at the beginning that was his full intent. He had genuine desire to do what he felt was right. So
Well, and then that's an interesting thing. His parents lived it too, and so
well, they converted while he was on his
converted.
mission.
Exactly, and so that gives you if you have a parent that's living it and coaxing you to do
Yeah.
that too, it's a belief system he probably came up with. If he
Yeah.
studied deep enough into the LDS faith, he would see that they lived polygamy before that too. So.
Yeah. Connie B says, plays the bagpipes. I'm Scottish, also my bucket list. Oh, great. Becky Mitchell says, I stole my husband away from Scotland. Oh, I bet he talks so sexy. Hello from South Africa, Misty. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Somebody says, love the bagpipes. We are getting people from everywhere. This is crazy. It's because you're so sexy and you look just like so many celebrities.
Megan.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Okay, I adore you both,
Metallica.
Emily. We adore you too. Oh my gosh. I'm from Norway. Norwegian. I know, I'm like, wait, am I reading that wrong? Why do you think Robin wanted Mary to stay with Kody?
Norwegian. Hey, you're right here with us.
Oh, thank you, Crafty. Appreciate that. Why do you think Robin wanted Mary to stay with Kody?
Well,
I love the dark humor. Oh, thank you. I think that when you're the last man standing, everybody kind of looks at you like, what the heck is happening? What did you do?
everybody loves minions. So,
Oh, Rachel says,
Okay.
Cory, both our fathers got abducted into the AUB by the same people about the same time. Yes, I would agree with. Yeah, that's awesome, Rachel. That's hilarious. I don't know if, yeah,
her husband served what? Go back up.
my husband served 21 years and don't know a single person who was in the AUB. Oh, I don't know. It's a response to somebody else's questions. When Christine remarried, did she come off the wife that counts for the celestial? Yes, she absolutely did. She does no longer. So it says, when Christine remarried, does she come off the wife count as
Well,
okay, that's questionable because she didn't get a release.
depends on who's doing the
Counting.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, technically, no, she still counts. My dad's wife that left him when I was, didn't get a release, and he
so
still considers her to be.
Gonna have that tick on
She belongs to him in the afterlife and forever and ever. So,
kicking and screaming.
yep. And it says Christine and Janelle genuinely love her kids more than Kody. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I absolutely agree with that.
They're
Yep.
the-
Hi from Texas.
They're
Oh,
the
hi.
core, they're the nurturing part of that family.
Yep. And they
So-
absolutely love their kids more
And
than
they
Kody.
protect their kids. I'm so proud of Janelle.
Yeah.
It is. It's one of those things where your children, and it should be our children.
I hate it
need
when
to be
Kody says that. It
protected,
makes me
but-
just want to reach to the TV and string his neck when he's like, oh, Janelle's children.
Yeah,
Dude.
our children.
Yeah.
And
Thank
so-
you, Crafty.
Yeah, she absolutely need to go, hey, Kody, sorry.
Yeah.
You mess with the kids.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. How common is for AUB to be in the military? Not common at all. Cory's dad served in the military before he joined the AUB.
Yeah.
And so that's the only reason. They discourage anyone from joining the military.
Well-
It's highly discouraged.
But I have a brother that joined the military,
that's right.
served in the Desert Storm War.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I have a brother that joined the military. I have nieces or nephews that are all part of the military too.
But they're not part of
So-
AUB at all anymore.
Well, they were raised.
They
in
were
it.
raised there, but they're not
They were
currently.
raised in it, but yeah, they came to a certain age and joined the
Yeah.
military. So, and to be honest, another one of my friends growing up, his dad and my dad served in the Vietnam War, and when Dad joined the LDS faith, his friend came and and then when Dad joined the Polygamous faith, he joined with them, and they knew each other
Yeah.
in the war. So
Yeah. So no, it's not super common. Did your ex want custody at all? Nope. Didn't even try to fight for it. Thank you for supporting them, liking the lives. Thank you. Bob's wife, you have been amazing. You and Lizzie have been so amazing in supporting us. We really, really appreciate you too. That was the most degrading thing he could say after all these years. Yeah, he has just been, Cody's been a piece of work.
it's his ego that allows him
Yeah.
to snap back at his children like that.
Right.
It's all they're looking for is, I love this kid. And
Yeah.
because I'm sorry, we're parents too, and we tried the best we could
Yeah.
and eliminated a lot of stuff that went on when we were growing up, but we're not perfect either. And I just want each one of my kids to know I love them.
Absolutely.
No
We learned
matter
all the
what.
things that you,
And apologize for the stupid shit that I might have done and broke their hearts at times.
Rach Elf says, have you watched My 5 Wives? They seem to have their own issues with who got to have babies. Yep, a couple of his wives were my very best friends growing up. And so, yes, I'm very familiar with that. I haven't spoken to a lot of them for
That's
a
an
while.
awesome family too.
But yeah, they were some of my very best friends growing up. And I can't believe that he never said he never loved them. Okay, let's see. Sorry, we're trying to get to all these questions. Man, this is turning into a long live. Fortunately, we don't have a life and it's a Friday night, so we can sit here and answer all these questions. We are almost empty nesters, so we really don't have a lot going on. You are the cutest couple. Thanks for sharing. Oh, that's so sweet of you guys. Thank you. I think they should have all left. He'd be way better off. Cory's horrible. Kody, sorry, babe. Kody is horrible
And
with
Vladimir.
Yeah. I think Kody did it for the show. Yeah. I'm not religious at all, but I am still a good person. Yeah, absolutely. I think you can be a really good person without being religious.
Yeah, most non-religious people are really, really good. They have a good soul
Yeah.
to them. Yeah.
Oh, a Montana person, Liz. Thank you. Somebody says, do you think Kody has remorse? Only because it was
I know
televised.
people there.
I think that's the only thing that he has any remorse over is the fact that his behavior is all over national television. Oh gosh, every time I do that.
Yeah, we're not going to get to all of them. Just the ones that are.
I'm in
coming up now.
Harriman, Utah. Hello, my new friends. Oh, well, hello, Deborah. That's where,
Oh, wait.
yeah, should we wave out the
Hi.
window? Hi, Jasper. Okay, let's see. Over 50,000 likes. You guys are amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Bob. I haven't even been paying attention to that. I've been trying to read like all of the things. Do you think polygamy should be legalized? That's a loaded question. That's really hard to answer because I see so many sides of that.
If it was legalized and each wife had a marriage license and
Legal.
legal rights under it, and they were adults and chose, absolutely. Because then what that is going to do is protect all parties legally. And so if one wife wants to leave, it's not a spiritual release, it's a divorce
Yeah.
release that is going to protect each wife individually and the assets within there. And this is a huge, yes, it would, and it would probably cause men to think about, okay, if I'm marrying 3 or 4 of them, I better make sure that I'm doing it right, that it's for whatever belief systems I have, because there are financial consequences to just marrying that young girl and then having her leave in a couple of years, or marrying that young girl, not treating your older wives respectfully and having them leave. So
Right.
it would probably help more than it would harm.
Right.
So
I mean,
and it would bring to light those.
I think it would take a lot of
welcome them-
abusers out of the situation.
Yeah, it would welcome them into society, where then it's not going to be scared to get birth certificates or all of these other things. And it's going to take the fear out of living it, other than there's going to be legal consequences now.
Yeah, so somebody says, I wish Christine and Janelle would forgive Mary for the way she treated them because she needs them. You know what? Time heals wounds.
Yeah.
And I think that Janelle and Christine care enough about their emotional and mental health that they will come to that healing eventually. When you live this lifestyle, it's really, really hard. And when somebody does you wrong, it's really hard because, I mean, it's not easy.
And we're not all perfect. There's days that each one of us have a bad day, and if we can ask for forgiveness and be kind to each other, it helps a lot.
Says somebody says it's like when the children are grown adults, they're not wanted anymore. That's exactly, honestly, it's like, even beforehand, it's like, get out.
Especially if they don't have the same belief system. If their belief systems have changed, then it's like, shoot, we failed on that kid.
Yeah.
Go on, you know.
I've literally had my dad say to me, well, we screwed him on the first batch of kids. Let's go to the next batch of kids. I'm like, what? I'm in that first batch of kids. So, yeah, that was a little hard to hear from a child's perspective.
It's so weird because my parents loved me.
Gee, thanks, Faith. Do you think there are any women in the AUB that would still want to marry Kody at this point? I mean, I have so much
Probably.
sarcasm that could come with that. There are always desperate
There's 10
people
years old
wherever.
out there that in
Oh my gosh, when Mary made
8
that
years,
comment about
they'll be
Robin being 10
eligible.
or 12 years old, I about fell on the floor laughing. That was hilarious. There's always younger women that will, you know, they don't have enough life experiences to even know better.
sorry.
Yeah, there's our sarcasm
There's
for a
my
minute.
dark humor.
Does anyone think Robin and Kody will stay together? Honestly, I don't know. I feel like they will for the time being. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one if he keeps that up. If he keeps the way he's, you know, when... Okay, so one thing I'd like to address too, because when Robin says on one of the previews, it's hard for me to have any respect for you.
But they did make a sacred covenant.
I know Cory
That-
gets hung up on that
that
one. He thought that
sacred
he
covenant
about fell
that
off the couch
They
when
made
that part
each
came
other
on.
Probably will hold up.
Yeah.
So it's a good
But
one.
honestly, when she said, so it's really hard for some wives when the husband's having a problem or issue with one of the other wives. It's hard. You watch the way he handles it. And if he comes to you and gossips to you about that other wife, which they typically do, how do you have respect for somebody like that when you watch them treat their other people that they're supposedly love? This is the first live I've watched and will definitely watch again. Thank you. Thanks for being here. This is our second live we've ever done, so we appreciate that. Massive. Man, we're getting people
Her
all over
third.
the country.
I'm my second.
I love it. I think once Robin met all of his desires to being a polygamous marriage, I'm all in. Yeah, I mean, it's so sad to me what he... Are you LDS or religious at all? Nope, we don't practice any religion. Where's the polygamous community in Montana? It's in the Bitterroot Valley. It's about 20 miles out of Missoula. Do you think Kody was at fault for all the wives leaving? Absolutely. There's no one else to blame but him.
Yeah,
He is the only
absolutely.
person that you can blame in that situation.
Yeah.
Because
He was supposed to be the anchor
Yeah.
to be able to communicate. Now he may
Yeah.
have there may have been miscommunication between the wives and stuff like that, but with him, he was supposed to keep each one of those individual communications on, and if he chose to, which he did, ignore and to say things to each one of the wives, you don't need a door, there's not going to be any intimacy in there, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
how do you
then-
say that to your wife? You don't need a bedroom door because we're not going to be intimate anymore.
Yeah, then that's
What the
those
hell?
are him creating creating the environment so those wives are like, okay,
Yeah.
well, we're not important, we're out.
Right. And this says, how much of that is TV and how much, or is he always that dramatic? He's pretty dramatic. He always has been pretty dramatic since the first time I ever met him. He was extremely dramatic. I think he plays it up for the camera because he knows where the paychecks come from. And I'm so sorry. We're trying to get all these questions, but as I touch the screen, it will like scroll up and then it makes me miss. Do you think the Browns paid tithe on their own show proceeds? That's a good question. Honestly, I'll bet that they did at the beginning, and then they saw how much money was going into the AUB and they said no. It feels like a lot of narcissistic people, polygamous or not, use the word "I never loved you." It's a defense
It is.
mechanism. It's a broken heart.
Yeah, it stung him, and so, well, I didn't love you anyhow. So, and deep down,
Yeah.
okay, buddy.
Yeah. Somebody says, I've watched Sister Wives from the beginning. I'm so proud. Yeah, we haven't really watched a lot of it. We watched the first
We watched a
season.
little, at the beginning,
And then we were like, oh my God, this is so obnoxious. And because it felt so
Then we watched
unreal.
The Walking Dead.
Oh God, here we
Played
go.
my character on there.
Here we go. And so, yeah, we didn't really watch a lot of it just because we definitely didn't watch the center seasons. We watched last year. My mom left my dad at the same time Christine has started to leave Kody. So my mom was like on this whole, we love Christine for leaving Kody. And then Christine would say the most off the wall things. And my mom's like, oh my gosh, I love her. She's saying all these things publicly. So So we did watch the last 2 years.
I got little sisters. I don't know if I've got more than,
Yeah.
but hi little sisters, hi cousins.
I know my eyes are starting to get a little bit watery from the light. Does anyone think Robin? Oh shoot. Okay, I'm gonna try to go back down here. Is there anyone from the AUB attended? I don't know. Benjamin Franklin Academy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, we don't know. There's most members. If your child doesn't go to the private school, then they put them in the charter schools, the local charter schools. Sorry, he kicked.
How many kids do we have? 5.
We have 5. I had 3 when we got married, and they're basically his children at this point. And
not by any.
yeah, we have 2
religious thing,
biological.
I think they're friggin' awesome. They're
Yeah.
amazing human beings. And
Yeah, our
I
daughter
love
just
them.
got married, and this guy over here became a pastor, so he
I
could
did.
marry them.
I went and got my pastor reverendship so
Yeah.
that I could marry
Yeah,
my little girl. So
yeah, it was so sweet. So she just recently got married. I believe they have sister wives. My partner better be ready for my brother husbands. Yeah, I believe if they have sister wives, my partner better be ready for brother husbands. That's amazing. That is awesome. Yeah, he always calls him a brother husband. Why are you in that show?
we
We're
hang
not in
out
that show.
still
Oh.
too.
Why are you in that show? We're not in that. I don't know what that means. What was your draw to the polygamous relationship? We were born and raised in it. We have no interest in living it. We were just
Probably-
born and raised in it.
Well, I think because we were taught from that you were to have 3 wives, you needed 3 wives to make it into the highest degree of heaven.
Yeah.
I realized because of some of the other teachings that I wasn't going to follow, that I wasn't going to make it into the highest degree of heaven. And so I disregarded a lot of the teachings
Yeah.
and eventually got asked to not hang around. So.
And they got kicked out. Those women made choices. They weren't forced. Absolutely. No one was forced. In the AUB, you're not really forced. You are highly encouraged, however. I got married 8 days into 17, and did my dad drag me down the aisle kicking and screaming? No. But I was
they're very proud
extremely
of you.
encouraged. Yes.
So-
Yes. And so, who did he tell he didn't love? Mary. I'm assuming you're talking about Kody there. It scrolls when new questions pop up. It does. Thanks, Em. Thanks, Emily, for keeping my sister Emily's on here, and she's keeping track of. Next time I'm going to have her be here live, and she's going to be my moderator.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Christine, Sue, and Kody? Absolutely. She should absolutely do that. I am so proud of her for doing that. Great live I'll be watching in the future. Thank you so much. I think we're going to, when we hit that 2 year,
I love it.
when we hit that 2 hour
of my
mark, I think we're going to log off here.
Where's
Let's see. Somebody says, I've lived in Missoula 36 years and never knew about that. Yeah, it's right. The
I
city's
drove by you way too many times.
yeah, the town is right outside of Hamilton. Let's see. Do you think Robin wants to replace them? No, I think Robin wants to be monogamous. I don't
Just
think she
Google
wants to be.
Pinesdale, Montana. It's on the map now.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be a polygamist. She's never. And I loved it when Christine said on her interview that Robin's never lived polygamy, because she hasn't. She has no idea what that means. If one of you does know Dave Jessup, can you share how his health is? It went around on a phone tree that he is in full remission and that he is doing great. If serial killers can find wives in prison, there is someone out there for Kody. Oh, I love that, Diane Johnson. Thank you. That's very true. Very, very true. My grandpa never lived polygamy. He tried and he never did. My grandma left him. He got married again. Never, ever lived polygamy. And then when he was probably, I want to say 68 or 69, he found a 21-year-old who wanted to marry him.
Are you folks shunned when you get divorced or get released?
It depends on your situation.
Yeah.
Are you leaving the AUB? Yes. When I left, it was really hard for me to leave. My grandma had 350 grandchildren. I was the first one to get married in polygamy and the first one to leave. And I was it was really, really hard.
If it was like the Amish where you're shunned and they don't talk to you, no. I was never shunned.
Yeah.
I always went up to family get-togethers, always hung out whenever they went up for Christmases, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Up to visit my parents, want to make sure they're okay. Still go out we'd go out, they had wood stoves at the time, go out and
Yeah.
chop their wood for them.
Yeah.
When we'd come up to visit, no, My parents absolutely didn't shun me. They thought I was too cool of a kid, even if I got.
I think my grandma was the hardest one on me, and eventually she came around. Like, no, and my dad was pretty heartbroken. But so many of my dad's kids left so much. Like, he had 34 kids growing up, and so many of them have left that he had to come to a resolution with that. Mary, thank you, Mary. And so he finally came to a what's the word I'm trying to think of in my brain, where he just wants them to believe in Jesus Christ at this point. Yeah. And he had to come to that conclusion, or he just would have written too many of his children off, and he didn't want to do that.
And it's different with me too than her. I never fully embraced the faith. I never went in and took covenants. I never fully.
So when you leave under those circumstances, it's a lot less frowned upon.
Because I never went in and fully embraced the thing and then turned around and left. I basically came to a point where I'm like, this will never work for me. I'm leaving. I'm a heathen. And they're like, okay, there's a door. And so my parents never, they've always been hopeful that I would come back and embrace the full, which, and so there's never been that shunning with me. Right.
And so where I did go into the temple and make those covenants, of course I was 8 days into 17. I didn't know any better. I did what I was told. And then by the time I became aware and left, I was a lot more frowned upon than he was. Yeah. We're definitely not going to get to all of these questions, but I promise you, I think we're going to do lives like 2 times a week. We'll do one over the episode of Sister Wives, and then we'll do one just for generalized questions. I can't believe your ex knew Robin. Did he ever meet her ex-husband? So my ex-husband grew up the street in Pinesdale from this husband. So I married 2 Montana boys, and Preston's family lived in the middle of them, so they both knew them. And so we knew all of them up there, and I knew Preston a little bit here and there, but I was friends with his older. I was friends with his older brothers, because I am about 2 years younger than Christine, so I'm a little bit older than Robin. Let's see, over 60,000 likes. Bob's wife, I love you. You have been such an amazing support to us. Thank you so much. You and Lizzie Tish are like, we can't even thank you two enough. You guys have been amazing to us. 350 grandkids, yeah, 350 grandchildren. Last I checked, it was 350 grandchildren. Emily is on here, and she might know a little bit more than me on that because she's been studying a little bit more. But so I am the 4th biological grandchild out of the 350. And I was married, I was the first one to get married in the Polygamous group. And then I was the first one to have gotten married in the Polygamous group and then left the Polygamous group, which then really kind of gave a lot of permission for a lot of the other cousins to leave. And so now I would say out of that 350 that there's maybe less than 50 that live it. Everyone's left.
And my father and my ancestors who my father had, my dad was the first one to join the Mormon church within his family. My mom's side of the family has always been in the Mormon church. So.
Everybody likes your impression of the knife in the kidney.
Knife in the kidney.
He can be very dramatic. You can only imagine what I have to live with. Says, you guys are great. Thank you for sharing. Oh, you guys are so... Thank you so much.
The best part
Emily
about
says she'll head over soon. I'm serious, Em. We need to work this out.
The best part of that is Christine's face too, because
she's like, what the?
She wants to blurt out loud. She just wants to.
Are you
kidding me? But then she's like,
shoot, I'm being filmed for TV. This is supposed to be serious.
I gotta be serious now. Are you really using that line? What the hell, dude?
And Janelle's like, wow, we're really going here. And Mary's like, damn it.
And I do, and I love the knife in the kidney. Every one of them, I think, have used that line somewhere or the other. I'm like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's the mocking. I love the mocking that
the so funny. It says, do you really think Mary introduced Robin to Kody? Yeah. I'm sure that they were at a church function or something, and she met Robin, and yeah, I'm sure it happened like that. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but it's so interesting how many kids are raised in it and don't practice now. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, the majority. To be honest, the majority. I have out of, I think, so I talked to my mom yesterday and we were doing the thing. I think I should have done it, but I think we have 39 kids that were all raised in the same house with the 10 adults. And I have a brother that's still a part of it, but he has only had one wife. And then I have a brother that's still a part of it that has 2 wives. So
Yeah.
And I had some other brothers that were a part of it, but they've all left now too. So
I thought you only had one brother in it. Who's the other? No, you don't tell me now, but I thought you only had one brother that had. Currently, there's only one brother living it right now.
Only one brother living polygamy.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But there's 2 brothers still in the AUB.
Okay, that's right. Okay, that's why I was confused.
Yeah, that's what I said. The other one only had one wife. So.
Gotcha. Sorry. Are you still living plural marriage? Never lived plural marriage. We were just born and raised in it.
Never have lived plural marriage.
Yeah, I've courted and dated another girl with my ex-husband.
To live plural marriage, you have to go through, to live polygamy, you can just marry or be with multiple women. To live plural marriage, you have to go through their endowment house, I think. So.
Yeah.
And I've never been through their endowment house.
Which wife did
Other
Cody's?
than
Oh, go ahead.
when I was younger, I helped install carpet in one of them.
Yeah.
So,
Jenna
but they had to rededicate it afterwards because I installed the carpet.
I feel like there are a million Jessups in Utah. Yeah, well, there are. There is a ton of them. Oh, yeah, Punk Rock Pluma says, yep, I'm right here. Yeah, he's been amazing, too. We have loved connecting with you, Punk Rock. Thank you.
Yeah, keep going. You're amazing.
And yeah, so there's not much difference in Amish or the polygamous religion. I mean, I'm not a scholar on Amish religion, so I don't really know. Emily says, he's written off any of the kids that stand up to him. Yeah, my dad definitely has lost a few relationships with his kids. Punk Rock Polygamous, thank you so much. He has been such a huge inspiration and help to me getting this TikTok account started. I have really, really appreciated his
Love his sense of humor.
tutorship. Yep, it's been awesome.
Who you know and who you blow.
Oh, geez, what? You did not just say that. He said that on a live, huh?
Yeah, to me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, remember Punk Rock? We were talking about how he came on one of your lives. That was a comment that got made on your live. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. Thank you, Ruthie. Yeah, and we were laughing because we were coming on your live and talking, but you didn't know it was us.
It was me.
It was, yeah. He said it's who you know and who you blow. Oh my gosh.
Asking questions.
That's right. That was so hilarious when that happened. Let's see. We're not polygamous. We were born and raised in polygamy. Our parents were polygamous. My dad's the current prophet of the AUB. A lot of similarities. I guess I got
dressed with.
Obsessed with it when I lived in Wyoming.
This is how
do not do that. I've had to break him of that habit.
Right? She did.
Oh,
I felt comfortable naked if I didn't have it all the way
yeah,
down.
I've really had to break him of that habit.
My mother trained me well. Sure.
Yeah, why don't they talk to Mary? Because there's just too much hurt feelings. There is, I mean, when you're all sleeping with the same man, there's things that can get hurt. And some people have an easier time to getting over it than others. I wish Mary and Christine and Janelle would all forgive each other. Yeah, eventually. The children are the one that suffer. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And unfortunately, if you're a wife and you're upset at another wife, and a lot of times you'll take that out on her children. I would love to analyze polygamous family circles. Some of them are only a circle. They never branch out anywhere else. So yeah, that would be, some of them could be a quick study because they're all in the same gene pool, and some of them might actually have branches. I don't know. Christine was gray rocking while the kidney episode. I know, that was hilarious. Christine's face was so funny. I want the therapist they featured on the show to come back and sit down with them. I don't know. I feel like therapists cause more damage than they do good, in my personal opinion.
I think a therapist is a good neutral third party that can sit and call out the bull, but if they're one-sided, you don't get your mom to be your therapist because she's going to
or your sister wife to be your therapist because
she's going to favor you over the wife.
They speak your husband. Like, come on. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Yeah, these women will ask me to come into their personal conversations with their with Kody because I speak Kody. What?
Then she has to pull the rubber glove off.
Oh my gosh.
Sitting.
Yeah,
I speak
hand
Kody.
puppet. Oh my gosh. Cory, mom is watching with me, but she laughed at your low joke. Oh my gosh, my mom's watching. Hi, mom.
Sorry, young lady. It was just, I
that's
was
hilarious.
repeating.
Okay, do you think they will have a problem getting a release? No, they won't have any problem. He has publicly gone up there and made such a stink of himself that he will not have.
And some of them don't even want.
Some of them don't care if they get the
Yeah,
release.
they
It
don't
doesn't
want a
matter to
release. They
them.
just move on, which
Yeah.
is okay too.
Yep.
And then he can still use that on his little ticket to see if he can get into heaven.
Yep.
So.
70,000 likes. You guys are making Friday fabulous. Thank you. Maybe that will be our new tagline. We will do lives on Friday and make them
Fabulous
Friday. Yeah, Friday fabulous. Although we were gonna have grandbabies have a sleepover tonight, but are you related to Rulin Allred? No, we're not.
Well,
but
priesthood-wise, I guess I am.
yeah, his dad was
My
sealed
dad
to
was
Rulin,
sealed,
and
but
Rulin.
I don't know if I would. Well, I was born under the covenant, so I was probably sealed. Too.
Yeah, Rulin delivered him at birth and delivered me at birth. But
then
no.
again, I got my priesthood taken away, so
Yeah.
I guess.
I think the show proves how polygamy doesn't work. It doesn't work in my personal opinion. It is disgusting and
Difficult.
doesn't work. It's really hard. Was Robin's first husband as bad as she implied on the show? I don't believe so.
Well,
Yeah.
I would marry him, and I think we'd get along great. So
Rhodey is downright mean any way you cut it. Kody. I think she meant Kody. I think so too. I think the things that he's said and done on national television are disgusting, and they're mean. They're bullying.
well, he's butthurt.
Yeah.
He put together a show, let the women know, hey, we're doing this show, we're going to do it this way, da 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 da, and they became stars. But they also asked questions, did stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's almost, how dare you violate your priesthood authority, first of all, and
Yeah.
your husband who put this all together for you guys. You guys should be.
Yeah. You should be thanking me.
Yeah.
And okay, here's my 2 cents on Christine leaving him and why he's so upset about Christine. He's just mean to Mary, but Christine, he felt better than Christine. And I know they joke about Christine being polygamist royalty, but he still felt better than Christine. And he lowered himself to marry Christine. And
Because she was royalty.
Yeah, and because she was royalty, he needed a pass.
But I don't know.
But we don't know. This is entertainment purposes only. And then she dared to walk away from him when look what he did for her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he's so butt wounded that she left. Because he doesn't care if Mary gets a release, but
She's a way bigger star than him.
yeah. He doesn't care if Mary gets a release, but he threatened the leadership when, allegedly threatened the leadership that they better not give Christine a release. Yeah, no, and I don't mean that. Not all therapists are bad. I didn't mean that. I said that kind of flippantly. I apologize. Not all therapists
I love
are bad.
my therapist.
I've been doing constant therapy since I was 20. So I didn't mean that. I definitely take that back. Punk Rock Polygamous, immediately follow. Yes, everybody go follow Punk Rock Polygamous, please. He is amazing, and he does some pretty funny commentary. In fact, I have reached out to him so many times. I'm like, will you watch this video and tell me if it's too much? Because I tend to just bleh and say what I'm thinking. And so I appreciate his feedback on so many things. Crafty, thank you so much, Crafty.
Yeah.
We're gonna really learn what all these gifts and stuff are. So, didn't Kody adopt Robin's kids? I believe so. Yeah, that's what the show says. He swindled his wives. Why don't they sue him? They should. In my personal opinion, they should.
Yeah, to be honest, they need to, because usually when you go through a divorce system, or a divorce, when you're legally married and go through a divorce, you're going through the system to divide stuff, do things like that. They have all put energy, money, resources into that family, and now they need to,
Yeah.
they have to go through the process to separate equally
Right.
and do that. So they need to go through the legal system on the divorce. And that's usually that's why I say, make polygamous marriages legal, so that, because they're ending polygamous marriage, they have to do it legally through a divorce. So
Right.
why not allow them to get married legally, so that's already in. And I
Right.
think as you see more and more polygamous divorces and then going through the system, they might wake up and go, hey,
Yeah.
let's give them that marriage certificate, so that they
I
have
think you'd see a
something to
lot
go
less
through.
polygamists if they actually had to be financially accountable for
Exactly.
the shit that they start.
Yeah, they would be going, okay, let's not.
Yeah.
do
If
this.
he
Let's
honestly,
get to know the person.
right,
first
he
before
wouldn't
I
just be marrying a
legally
girl
marry
after 2
somebody.
dates.
Yeah.
He'd be like, oh, let me see if you're actually a good investment.
I think you would see a lot of prenuptials too. It'd be-
Probably. Somebody says, I think he just didn't want to be on the show, nor his children. I think you're referring to Robin's ex, and I agree with you. I don't think he
Yeah.
wanted. And honestly, I feel bad. That guy probably got strong-armed a little bit, but I don't know about that. Let's see. How does he expect his children to respect him when he hasn't respected their mother? Amen. Thank you, Barb. That is exactly what I'm saying. How do these polygamous men expect any sort of level of respect when they disrespect these children's mothers? I personally have experienced that. That's one of the biggest reasons why I've distanced myself so much from my dad after my brother's passing, is be the way that he has been so disrespectful to my mother. He was bullied into it. He knew TLC had the money to fight him and he couldn't fight. Yeah, that could be true. Let's see. Oh dear God, I'm going to Rulin's planet when I die. Oh gosh, Rachel, you're hilarious. I love it. Oh dear, yeah, because your dad was sealed to Rulin. So yeah, I get that. Brandy says, I've never watched lives. However, this live has kept my interest the whole time. Can't wait for the next one. Oh, you're so sweet. I don't even know how long we've been talking. We don't have a clock in front of us, so I don't even know. I'm gonna have to. We started at 3:00 and it is 5:30. Oh my gosh. Okay. See, we entertain each other and we love to be together, so we'll just keep talking forever. This Brandy says that the sacrifices he's made. Oh my gosh. He loves to say that to me when I haven't done something that he wants. The sacrifices. Thank you, Jamie.
I have made to clean up this kitchen. So we could do a live.
No, our house is always clean. Do you guys still practice religion? Never practiced it. We were born and raised in it, and we have never been polygamists ourselves.
Although, I guess I'm a reverend now.
He is.
So I did have to pay $35 online.
Thank
I got
you,
a
Mary.
whole little booklet on how to start my own religion, if anybody's interested.
Oh, geez.
But no,
Yeah.
I still have beliefs in
Yeah.
faith, but no, I don't.
He
I
got
have
his
not joined a church.
he got his pastor's license to marry our daughter, who just recently got married.
Yes.
The lawsuit would be different from the divorce. Absolutely. Yep. They were legal. But they were considered legally married. Why did
Usually
Preston
it's
sign
like-
over his rights to the kids? Honestly, I don't know. I have never talked to Preston about that. Do Robin's kids see their bio dad? Have you heard that? I have no idea.
Yeah, I thought the older son went and visited his bio dad.
Yeah, I have no
over
idea.
the summer, but I don't
Kelly
know.
says Moroni and Lady A are wonderfully giving in their knowledge. They are.
They are.
They have been amazing. We have loved them.
And that's the thing. He is so he knows a lot of the belief systems and stuff.
Yeah. I am not
When
a
I
religious
left,
scholar.
I know when I left 30 years ago, I deleted as
That's
much
not
as
true. He knows a lot of
I
things.
do know a lot, but I deleted a lot too.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
this handsome brain can only hold so much.
Oh,
so
jeez.
I deleted a lot of the belief systems that I was given
Yeah.
as a kid. So
It says, is the Montana compound the one in Pinestone? Yep.
yep.
That's where Cory was born. Or
No.
not born. I'm sorry. I got to stop saying that. That's where he was raised.
raised.
Okay, let's see. Do the scars last after therapy? Absolutely. I mean, I'm now, I started therapy when I was 20. I'm 50 and it's a constant work.
Just makes you aware of that there's always going to be that hurt, those scars and everything.
Yeah.
It's just how to
How do you navigate through them
navigate through them, how to handle them, how not to.
and heal them when they come up?
Exactly. It's always going to be there. You're always going to have
Yeah.
triggers and hurt things that go on.
Somebody says, my mother, Earth Mom says, my mother was a trophy because of her royalty. It's probably true. It is. You know, I say that about my ex-husband too. I was a trophy wife to him because my family, my dad converted in, my mom converted in, so we were fresh blood. Cory's mom converted in, his dad converted in, they were fresh blood. And we're not all in the same gene pool. And my family tended to be a lot of the people wanted to marry the women in my family. They were very beautiful, and a lot of people really liked
Wanted
that.
to marry the women in my family.
And they wanted to marry the women in their family. Not the men, but the women. The men got ran out, but the women were. And so I was more of a trophy to him. He didn't really love me or want to marry me. It was just more of an opportunity because I was the next great thing in line, and he wanted that. So as soon as I got married to him, he literally we got back from our honeymoon and he instantly started looking for wife number 2. Let's see.
So what was that question?
Do you guys practice the religion? No, we don't. No, this is Amanda Ray's from the Kingston group. Paternal grandmother is a Johnson. Jenna and they're having a genealogy chat. Let's see, which is
okay.
Yeah, I don't follow a lot of the Kingstons. I know a lot of the Kingstons. My mom had a local store here in Salt Lake that a lot of people would visit, so she got to know a lot of people from the different communities.
Yeah,
but
I knew some of the Kingstons and the Barlows.
Yeah.
So we're friends with those guys growing up. So.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, why did Preston sign over his rights? That's because it was legal. I mean, honestly, that would be a legal fight. Yeah. Kody neglected and abandoned his wives and children. So sad. A lot of polygamous men do. And that's the unfortunate part. A lot of them do. And
what's the polygamous what?
It says, isn't polygamy illegal? Or is polygamy isn't legal, is it? So it's not legal, but it's not illegal. Well, and so you can't be prosecuted. No, it's not. Not in Utah anymore.
Oh, I just thought
it was decriminalized. No, it's decriminalized. So it's not legal. Yeah.
But you can't go get multiple licenses. If you got one marriage license, you can't.
Yeah.
And I know this because I took a little online course to get my
broker's license.
Reverend.
Oh, your reverend's license.
Yeah.
Oh. Somebody says they should sue for their part of the land investment. Every single polygamous wife should sue for her portion of the finances of the family. Every single one of them that are leaving. Yeah. If he is not going to put your name on anything legally, you should sue and get your portion of it. Every single one of them should. Hopefully, if the marriage doesn't give them the right to recover the money, the LLC gives them the resources. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, and I think that they probably put some stuff in place going on to the show that each one of them are getting paid, but
yeah,
I don't know that either. So I hope they did.
Yeah.
Each one of the wives were getting paid separately for doing the show.
Right.
That would be cool.
Somebody says he treated Janelle the worst. He used her money and then she's lost everything. Yeah, well, that's why I say my mom's a lot like Janelle. Hi, Mom. My mom's watching, apparently. And I will absolutely say that because I think my dad treated her the worst and used her money. Ruthie, I was under the impression that it was illegal because Kody kept running from state to state. Guess not. When he left Utah, it was illegal. Mm-hmm. And they have gone in and decriminalized it. Yeah, they decriminalized it after he left. And that's why the wives wanted to come back to Utah once it was decriminalized, is because of that. And somebody says, can you explain sealed? It's the spiritual marriage. And so you're spiritually married and you're sealed together for time and all eternity. And Jenna, don't apologize no, I love that you guys are talking back and forth in the comments. She says, I'm sorry for talking. I love to yap. No, please. We love the active participation in our life. Honestly, I had imposter syndrome so much that I wasn't even sure if I was going to start a podcast because I thought, who am I? I'm just some little kid from Utah that happened to grow up in a cult. And I didn't think anybody would be that interested to hear what we had to say. So we love it. Thank you. Punk rock. Yeah, see, punk rock knows more about this than I do. So thanks for chiming in on that. He said the decriminalization happened in 2020. So let's see if we can get, oh, dang it. Every time it does that. Why did Kody run from the state saying people were after them? Yeah, because it was criminalized back then. Mm-hmm. How did the Brown afford everything? Sorry if you have already said this. Honestly, I don't know. I am not a part of their finances, so I don't know what they did or, I'm sure the money from TLC has been awesome, and they all have their own little side gigs that they do, and I'm sure having like a lot of notoriety from TV is boosted their businesses. Other than the Sister Wives Closet, I don't even know where that one was crazy to me, but I just, that concept seemed a little bit weird to me. I'm not mean, it just seemed weird.
Starting the brother-husband boating.
What was Robin like before Kody? I had never heard of Robin before the show. So the show is the first time I've ever seen or heard of Robin. I think that there's a lot of speculation on how she was, and they'd probably be right.
And to be honest, I think they all moved down to southern Utah when I was probably 17, I think 17 or probably 17, and then I was asked to
leave when you. How old are you? Aren't you in your early 20s?
Yeah, I was asked to leave a couple years later. Well, I left, and then when I left I made an announcement that I was leaving. Did
you make an announcement, or did they make an announcement over the pulpit for you?
They did. They made an announcement over the pulpit for me. So I left, and to be honest, I probably was leaving and going down there when she was going back
leaving
up, and I hung out with her brother. Yeah. So that's who.
And he's still friends with her brother to this day. Good guy.
Yep.
Says, did your ex-husband stay in the religion? Does he have multiple wives now? No, he left when I left. He had, I left because of his extracurricular activities that happened outside of our marriage that were damaging our marriage. And so he had to get that in check before he could even get another wife. And so he left when I left. And he's tried to go back, but they won't allow him to. Somebody says, agreed, my mom was the prophet's daughter. That did help. Yep, in the AUB. I'm sorry, it depends on your last name and your status and who you are. If you are not 50, we need a skincare series. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. I just turned 50 a couple weeks ago. Or actually, oh my gosh, it's been like 2 months. Oh, I'm 2 months into 50. Yep, I'm a grandma now. You two are amazing. Oh, thanks. That's our sweet little girl.
Who's that?
Alicia. Our daughter's on here. We love her. How many wives do you have? No, none. We never entered it. I feel like, did you know as a reverend you can get parking passes everywhere? No, okay, so we already just joke about the fact that we get prophet parking wherever we go because I'm the prophet's daughter.
It's just like you pull into some place and it opens up, somebody's pulling out, there's our prophet.
And I always tell him, I'm like, you're welcome that you're married to the prophet's daughter because I just got you this fabulous parking. And now he's always joking. He's like, no, I have my own rights now. The Church of Cory, Concroxus, yes. Yep, and so now he went and outdid me and got his own license, but we love that he got to marry her. That was amazing. I lived by the AUB group in Utah. That was the one on Skate. Yep, there's the one here in Utah, right here in good old Bluffdale, Utah. Somebody says, I'm a 48-year-old new grandma. Oh, I love that. Congratulations. Being a grandma is the best thing that has ever happened to me. Way surpasses having your own children.
Anyone that left the church still follow God?
Do you mean between the two of us? We do our own thing. We don't follow. We have a firm belief that if anyone stands between you and your creator,
nobody stands between you and your creator.
Yeah, nobody does.
You have every right to speak to your creator directly.
Absolutely.
So you don't need permission. You don't need.
Yeah.
You have that ability, and
Yep.
you're responsible for what you have going on, and so might as well get it directly from your creator and not ask another man to talk to him for
interpret God's word for you. Somebody says, read Fresh Blood, kudos. Was this the AUB answer to the issue seen within the Kingston group? Yeah. Yeah, so when the AUB first started, Rulin Allred was the founder, and he had a couple of men that he had go out and proselyte to recruit people into the AUB. Cory's dad was one of those people. But yeah, I mean, it is. The Kingstons, I've heard a lot of stories about intermarrying and there is some of that happens in the AUB. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it doesn't, but it's not as common in the AUB as it is in some of the other groups. And
it just sucks when you get married and you don't change your last name.
Right. And then my ex-husband, both of his parents converted in. So it's really funny because down here in Salt Lake, we started getting charter schools. And so I sent my kids to a charter school, not a public high school. Well, I didn't realize every polygamist in the valley was going to send their kids to these charter schools too. And my kids didn't know any really polygamous kids. They haven't been around polygamy at all. I have kept them pretty far away from it.
Other than family reunions.
Right, other than family reunions. And so they went to this charter school, and all of a sudden all of these kids, they're like, oh, wait, I know your last name. Do you know? And so they'd come home and they'd ask me if they were related to all these people. I'm like, no, you're not related to anyone, no one. And that, I'm really great about that. How did you guys meet? We met because my best friend at the time was married to his brother at the time. And of course we were born in the same group, but we went our whole lives without even knowing each other, which was really weird.
She was too snooty.
He was at my first wedding, which was really weird. I didn't even know him at all, and he had brought someone else to the wedding, and he was in my wedding video.
Signed her wedding first.
Yeah, signed my wedding book and everything. It was really weird, and we did not know that until, he did, but I didn't know that for a long time. And so my best friend was married to his brother.
I knew her cousins. I just didn't know her.
We don't have any polygamous wives. We never ever lived it. I thought Mary knew Robin, and that's how the connection started. I think that they met at a party or something is what it sounded like, and Mary just got to know her from there. We have people from all over the world in here. This is crazy. I think there are times that they were not financially secure. They have declared big. Yeah, I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
It's you're taking care of a lot of kids, a lot of family,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's see if I'm trying to answer more of these questions here. Hello from Michigan. Hi, Michigan. What's the process of introducing a potential new wife to an existing wife? Moon Pie. Thank you, Moon Pie. We are going to learn these freaking gifts because we need to know that. I think it's different for everybody, to be honest. What's the process of introducing a new wife? Yeah, I think, honestly,
Did you hear my kidney joke? Let me tell you this. I don't know.
I think it just depends. It just depends on where you are, and I think it happens differently for everybody. Now your best friend is married to your, oh geez, Emily, keep that to yourself. We're not that advanced in conversations. My best friend married to my dad. Okay, Sherry, thank you so much, Sherry. You're so sweet. Aaron says, how do you manage to keep your kids away from everyone and not move far away? I just didn't get involved. It's funny, when my oldest was about 11, he says to me, wait, Grandpa's a polygamist? And I was like, what? But I guess I hadn't really ever talked to him about it, and so I didn't really realize that he didn't know that, because I hadn't really purposely tried to keep them away. It just wasn't part of our conversations. We didn't talk a lot about it. And so when he said that, I was really surprised. I was like, yeah, where do you think my 45 brothers and sisters come from? You think my mom birthed all those kids? And he just didn't realize, he had never thought about it, never put those two pieces together. And so, yeah, we just didn't really talk to them about it. They never went to church out there. We kept them as far away from everything as possible when it came to that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, when I said that to him, he was like, oh, I guess I never really thought about it. How many wives does Grandpa have? At the time, I think he had 5. Awesome story. Thank you. It's nice to see you again, Cory. You and your brother did a lot of work on our house. Yeah, I'll have to, her name's, Earth Mom. I'll have to show you her profile. I love her. Thank you. I've connected with so many people here that I didn't even know.
Well,
So,
hi.
let's see if I can get some more of these questions.
That was a long time ago if we did work on your house.
Yeah, that would have been 20,
cool.
30 years ago.
Yeah. I'm old now. My brother and I tried to install a room of carpet that usually would have taken us an hour or two, and it took us all day because we're old. We got old crinkly knees now.
Yeah. Get us to 100K. I don't know what that, I think it's just 100K in likes, but thank you. Yeah, I don't know what all of that means or like what does it do for you,
Well,
right?
I watched the Santa Claus one. He said, push my beard.
Yeah, it's tap your beard.
So I was like, oh, I'll push my beard.
Yeah, Warren Jeffs and Kingston's put polygamy front, and yeah, they really did
Polygamy.
front and center. Well, I think it meant center, but yeah, they really did because of the severe amount of abuse.
Yeah.
Oh,
You say too hidden, everything's covered up. It attracts. It
Yeah.
attracts lots of
Abusers.
not so good people. So,
well, and what's funny to me, yeah, what's interesting to me is that I used to always like pride myself in the fact that I didn't come from as extreme of a community as some of these other places came from, and I just didn't realize how severe the abuse was at that point. And so that's been what, your best friend married your dad? Yeah, that's for another live. We'll talk about that on a different live. We're gonna bypass that right away. Do you think Kody or Robin wanted monogamy? I think that once they found each other and started being in love with each other, then yes, they did. They absolutely do. And so who's running the ranch right now? Well, my dad's in charge of everything, but I think there's they have a couple council members up there.
who's asking this? The
Rachel.
ranch? Okay.
Yeah.
Because girl, you do know the ranch. Who would be running the ranch?
Yeah, we don't know, honestly. Like, there's a couple of council members up there, because Morris and Marvin have died.
Yeah, the three council members that I knew up there all have passed on. So
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm assuming
His mom will be here tomorrow.
son.
We'll ask her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we will.
30 years ago, I could tell you, but
Yeah. Yeah, we'll ask her tomorrow about that because we're not really sure because we just haven't been up there. There was a couple of men, or at least one, and he was assigned to the leadership. My eyes are getting watery. And he quit the leadership. He said, nope, don't want any of this business, and
Yeah.
quit. And I knew him personally, but
He's
the
a
rest,
good guy.
yeah, he is a very good guy. Okay,
Wanna
let's
take
see.
her? Well-
How different do you think polygamy would be if everyone was as open as you two and Morona and Lady A?
I think it
Think
would
it'd
be
be
a
a-
lot cleaner.
Whole different reality.
Yeah, because everything would be out in the open. You would see
Yeah.
the divorces. You would see, you would see if people were having problems. If somebody was being a scumbag in it, or abusive, or
Yeah.
or
These women would
taking
feel
advantage of children, it would come out
Yeah.
into the public.
the women would feel more
And-
free to talk
yeah,
about it
it
or
would
get
be.
help
I
and
think it would
seek
be
out resources.
It would be. It would be
Right.
so much better for. I'm sorry. It'd be so much better for the kids if
Right.
I feel like they'd be more protected
Right.
if a mother felt that if she went to an official, a police officer, stuff like that, if something's going on,
Right.
that so yeah, instead of going to their priesthood leaders or going stuff like that. So
Well, and my mom had a disabled son, and she was too afraid to go get any resources for him because she was a polygamous wife, and it took her having a complete breakdown for us to
And her
force
kids
her
helping her.
to go get some level of care and assistance for him, and he started thriving after he had that. But she was so afraid, and so I think it would open up a lot more avenues like that. The Utah chats are saying Kody is suing, or Christine is suing Kody may give other women courage to sue deadbeat dads.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's why I 100% support her for doing this.
yeah, they need to set those precedents. There needs to be a lot more precedent set where polygamous wives can go and see other people have been able to do this. So there
Yeah.
needs to be a precedent set that polygamous wives can go and get resources. They work their whole lives, put money into a family, and then
Yeah.
because they're not in tune or
People tap
With
this,
it.
yeah. People
With
tap the screen. It helps your live be seen on the For You page. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I think somebody said that
Tap
at the
my-
last one,
the
but I
last
wasn't
one, yeah, tap
understanding
the
it.
screen.
Okay, that makes. Is there someone play? Oh, I am so sorry. Yes, we have a 17-year-old playing video games. Oh my gosh! Next time I'm gonna kick him out of the house. I apologize.
he's winning though, so you
We-
guys should be thankful that he's winning.
Yeah, we had 5 children, and we are almost empty nesters. We have one at home, and he is very loud. I apologize.
He's passionate.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna probably wrap this up here pretty soon. My eyes are, we're at 104,000. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much. My eyes are starting to get a little watery.
He's in there pulling the knife out of his kidney.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you guys could hear it. I'm a little deaf and I don't have my hearing aids in, so I can't hear him as well as everyone else can hear him. Do a lot of polygamous women struggle with their mental health? Do they get help for it? Absolutely, they struggle. Mormon women in general, I think struggle with their mental health.
More and more aware of it.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was like, no, you go
get a
talk
blessing.
to your, talk to your priesthood leader, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And these, a lot of them were raised in the polygamous group and were learning how to manage 3-4 wives themselves, and didn't have, and you would go to the older men, but didn't have. And you would go to the older men, but they needed to have people who can actually analyze them and be.
There it is, Queen K. Thank you, Queen K. Yeah, Mark Jessup is the only council member in Pinestone right now. Yeah, that's who it was. I forgot about that. Yeah, sorry. You know Mark.
I'd have to see him.
Yeah, you'd have to see him. Let's see. What do you think about Mary getting a spiritual release? She absolutely should have. Yeah. And I have more to say on that, because that was the whole point of this live, and then we kind of got veered off. So we will do another live over that one.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Because if you believe in it, you don't want to get into the afterlife, and then well, wait a minute, you signed some sort of contract that you got to stay with this guy for. Wait, he doesn't want to, so let's get that contract fixed here.
Oh, geez, I don't know this story. I'm going to have to find this out. Rachel says, speaking of knives in the kidney, there's a story about that. Lewis Allred. Oh, I do know that story. Oh, gosh, that's funny. Cory, those were scissors. Oh, gosh, Cory just told me that story not too long ago. Chat, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much, Bob's wife. You are amazing.
Like scissors in the kidney.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that story. Thank goodness for my hearing aids. I know. And I didn't put mine in because I didn't want them to be too loud. So I apologize that I can't hear the 17-year-old in there enjoying his Friday
Plus,
evening.
we probably just have him on ignore. He does this all the time.
Yeah. Thank you, Nancy, for that gift. Let's see if I want to make sure I get all of these. How many grandchildren? I don't know how many my dad has. I'm sure my sister can tell me that one really quick. Emily, can you post that if you know? But my grandmother had last I heard it was about 350, and then 120 great-grandchildren, something around there. And I am the 4th oldest biological grandchild.
I have to talk to a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. I just know because my grandma was married to the previous prophet and then my dad, and so they make a big deal about it. 120 years. Yeah, so Emily says my dad has 115 grandchildren. And then and that was 4 years ago. So
New York.
120. Yeah, thank you. 120 grandchildren. My son is the oldest grandchild. Let's see. I know I keep saying my eye is getting a little bit watery, so I'm like, we're gonna wrap it up. But then there's so many good questions, and I've actually really enjoyed doing these lives. They're kind of fun. I'm learning
more about the AUB in the comments than I even know. I know some of the stuff, but I'm like, I don't know who's in charge up there anymore.
Yeah, Mark Jessup is.
Yeah, nobody's come and said I couldn't go on the property, and I would assume that they would be in charge.
Look at that,
from Ireland,
and thank you. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. And South Carolina, thank you.
Nice.
That in New York, oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah,
Oh, and my son's not that loud. We can just hear him every now and again. Thanks, Jamie.
I've gone up there. I haven't been up there for a year.
We haven't been to Montana for a couple of years.
Yeah, but I go up there and I just drive on. Nobody even has a clue. It's not like I'm secret about it. And we just drive on and go hang out with my parents and play games and do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've got siblings all over up there that we just drive on and go hang out with my parents and play games and do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've got siblings all over up there that I go, Stevensville, all of them.
Yeah.
So kind of look like me.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell a current, well, I shouldn't say who I am, but yeah, you can definitely tell who we look like.
Right.
So.
Right. Okay, well, I think we are going to wrap this up. We're supposed to have sleepovers with grandbabies, and they are trying to call now
Yeah,
because
they're
they want to
coming
have
over.
they want to have a sleepover.
Woo.
So let's see if I can. I'm going to wrap up just one or two more questions. Why are you not allowed on the property? Oh, he was just kicked out, and they told him to get
got
off.
some paperwork saying you're excommunicadoed. So.
He got some paperwork saying he was taken out of the Book of the Lamb of God.
Yep, not welcome on priesthood property.
Oh, she's an Alsop.
That's
Queen.
priesthood property, so.
Yeah, Queen K is an Alsop. Kerners are cool.
Oh,
Thank
sweet.
you. Yeah, another fellow family, polygamous family. So you guys aren't polygamous. Nope, we are not polygamous. We were born and raised in polygamy, and my dad is the current prophet.
Children.
Yeah, we're pliglet children. But we are not polygamous
polygamous
ourselves.
adults.
Yep. And Ruthie says she came, according to Ancestry, she came from Joseph Smith and Brigham Young. Oh, very nice. And
Not us. Came from over in Germany.
yeah, Cory's Scottish and German. I haven't been able to keep track of who's on the council anymore, says Punk Rock Polygamous. Somebody on TikTok actually did a really good picture of it. And they did like a flow chart that shows pictures of everybody with my dad being the most current prophet. I have a picture of that somewhere. Maybe I'll try to shoot that over to you, Punk Rock, and see. It was really, I was like, wow, that was crazy, because when you're a child growing up, you always have like a picture of Christ, a picture of the current prophet, and then a picture of the council members, the 12 apostles. You always had all three of those on your wall somewhere, it felt like. And it was weird to see one of those and have my dad's picture on it. I was like, what? That felt weird. Hey from the Windy City. Hey, I've been there. The AUB has members from Montana down to Mexico. Yes, they do. Yep, they have a temple in Utah and they have a temple in Mexico. Thank you for tonight, loving the authentic truth. All right, what made you all leave? It's a hard life. Yeah, just not one we wanted to be in.
Yeah, we grew up in it as little kids, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I don't want.
Yeah.
It was great having multiple moms. I was not envious of my dad for having multiple wives. So.
Yeah, our daughter says, will you two remember me when you're famous? I'll never forget you, my love.
So.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing where you are from.
Sorry, Punk Rock
Thank
Polygamous. I think it was the exact statement. Was it's who you know and who you handshake. So.
Yeah. So somebody says Dorothy Allred wrote a really good book on Rulin's life. Yes, I love Dorothy. I actually was personal friends with Dorothy for a really long time. I just haven't seen her in it. Thank you, Punk Rock. I haven't seen her in a hot minute, but she is a wonderful human. I love her so much. Okay, these two are the best. Thank you. Thank you, guys. We really, really appreciate all of the follows and all of the everything. So we will be coming live again probably Monday night is what I'm thinking, because Sister Wives doesn't come on here in Utah until like 11 o'clock at night on Sunday night. And that's just too late. Oh, somebody says, hi, congratulations on the beautiful wedding to Alicia. Yeah, she just got married. We love her. Oh, what is that? William sent us a galaxy. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, and fireworks.
And Ruthie sent fireworks. Thank you. And so we'll do our lives on Monday nights, and I'll start creating events for that so that everyone knows when we're going to do it.
Grandbabies over on Sunday. So
yeah, we tend to have grandbabies on Sundays and Mondays, but we'll do our lives on Monday evenings after grandbabies leave. Then we will do that. We will make sure. So I will start creating events for that. Does anyone know which group live near? Nope, I do not know that.
in Glendale.
Is it far from the truth on the show? It's very dramatized for television.
But there is truth within it. So.
Yeah, it's very dramatized for television, but yeah. Want to hear about your relationship with all of them. I don't know who they mean for them. William just got the #1. Yeah, thank you so much, William. That is amazing. I'm going to go and check out what all these things mean, because I'm going to learn all of these, I promise.
Yeah, I'm reading up. I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
About it. We're on her account. I'm just a little teeny tiny account. And so I'm trying
I just let him tag along with me.
Yeah.
But everybody please go follow Punk Rock Polygamous because
Yeah.
he has been huge for me on this
helping us.
platform. I have absolutely loved him and really, really have appreciated his tutorship for me. So will you guys please give him a follow? I would really, really appreciate that. And then we are going to wrap up here now. My eyes are starting to get a little bit, we've been going at this for, I think, 3 hours,
The
but it's
sun is
just been
shining
fun.
on me.
Yeah.
Getting sunburned over here.
If you can't tell, we love to hear ourselves talk. So, oh yeah, and also follow Got to Be Me Now. She has been amazing. I have absolutely loved her. She has been so amazing. So watch for, we're going to schedule the next live for this upcoming Monday. Thank you, Lindsay. And we will get that scheduled. So yeah, Got to Be Me Now, and then Punk Rock Polygamous. We really appreciate those two.
And I got sisters on here lucky now, so I gotta
Thank you,
tell
Lindsay.
some good jokes.
Oh gosh. Yeah, and thank you guys for making my husband's ego so big by telling him he looks like so many different famous people.
That's right.
It's going to be a rough night for me around here when he walks around in his
Leather coat.
kingdomness
Yeah.
now. So, all right, we love you guys so
Yeah,
much.
Thank you so much, guys.